Welcome to Long McArthur Live. I am your host, Tim Bartz, and I'm with
Sarah Davis.
We are going to be with you for the next, who knows how long, 2.5 hours, 2 hours, however long you guys keep us here. But we got a lot of things to cover today and talk about. So do welcome in everybody. Don't forget, we are going to be recording this to be on our podcasting platforms. We have 15 different platforms. You can find us on about any of the streaming networks. Just searching for Forward Video Guy, and you can find us there. Of course, if you are listening over there on a podcast, want to join us one of these evenings, don't forget you can find us at over here on our Long McArthur channel at longmcarthur.com or youtube.com/Long McArthur and check it out. 7 p.m. Central each Tuesday night. So, all right. That's what the old intro stuff there. So how's it going? Good week?
Yeah, busy.
Busy week. Yep.
Still recovering.
Still recovering from being gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Busy. Lots to do.
Yep. Got the family together Sunday night.
We went to
It's always fun to do.
Our local swim water park, Kimmel Cove.
Yeah.
We did that. Will absolutely loves. We're like, do you want to go down the slide? No. Do you want to go in the big pool? No. Do you want to go down that slide? No. Do you want to go in the wave pool? No. Lazy river. Or as he says it, crazy river. He just wants to, he wears his puddle jumpers and he knows how to swim without them, but he wears his puddle jumpers and he just floats down the river without a care in the world.
All right. There you go. All right. What else we got?
I look less, I look more done up in the summer because in the winter, all I want to do is wear hoodies and sweatshirts. And in the summer, I can dress nicer.
It's not too cold in here today. They don't have the fans going.
Yeah, I can also go back to my non-nursing wardrobe. And so that wardrobe is more dressy than my nursing wardrobe. So,
all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Yeah, how's our, I'm not even looking at the chat. How's our audio levels? Doing good and everything?
Yeah, we're doing good. They're responding.
All right. Well, good. So tag those members in there. We'll be doing those intros here in a second. Let me get through the other stuff and we'll be ready to go for that. So again, do want to welcome everybody in. If you're new to the YouTube channel, again, we do this every week. We're here to kind of help you out, get through some of the cloudy information and misinformation and give you guys direct information, keep you kind of up to date, especially if you like Ford product or you have a vehicle on order. You want to learn a little bit more about it, about whether or not going to get scheduled. This is what we're here for. So, do go ahead and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Everybody take the time to do that. You may have to close the chat to do it, but then open it right back up. Mm-hmm. And then also, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for all the videos. And speaking of that, before we get into the member stuff, let me just go through some of the videos we did this last week. So on our channel, we did do a video on our lightning bolt a package that we do here at Long McArthur. So that is Long McArthur Performance has been doing this package since I think 2019. I know that when we did that video, it went pretty viral on a lot of different outlets, picked up the video and talked about it. It's got like over 600,000 views out there, and which is big for us. So it's a package we've been doing since 2019. Basically, it's bringing back a tribute to the first gen and second gen F-150 Lightnings back in the 1990s, 2000. What year is the one you guys have? An 01?
Yes, we have an 01 Lightning.
You need to keep that because that's the first year I started Long McArthur.
Did not know
That'll
that.
remind you of that. Anyway, so yes, so it's a tribute to that Lightning, and I actually wanted to do a video with that, and things got busy. Anyway, so it's a package we've done every year. We make it a little bit better. We call it our Lightning Bolt now that the Lightning is out. Mm-hmm. So it's a package we've been doing for a while. And I noticed even Town & Country did a video today about a supercharged F-150 regular cab. It looks like all they did to theirs was they took the very cheapest regular cab they had and just put the supercharger in it. We do a little bit more than that. We lower it, put different bigger wheels and tires. We do body colored bumpers and stuff on it, so that really looks good. Even redo the interior as well. So it's a pretty cool package. So we did a video on that, went live last week.
Mm-hmm. And I'll do a short on it on the 01. I've already done a short on the Lightning Bolt. I'll do one on the 01 that we have when I can get it pulled out of the
We have
garage.
about 5 or 6 of those in stock. So we don't just make one; we make a bunch of them. So we have about 5 or 6 of these. I have 2 in white, one with the alloy wheels, one with the black wheels. We have an Atlas blue with the black wheels. We have, or maybe it's the chrome. We do have chrome, alloy, and black wheels.
Yes.
Chrome exhaust tip or black exhaust tip on those. Anyway, all of them supercharged, 705 horsepower. So anyway, that's a pretty cool package. Also, yesterday we did the changes to the 2024 Ford Expedition. We did not have the order guide out yet. It was supposed to come out yesterday. We'll talk more about that in a second. But I had some information from a broadcast, and I went ahead and shared it. So because the order guide was supposed to be out yesterday, so I'm going to blame that on Ford if they get mad at us.
Yeah.
So that video went live yesterday, and there is a excursion package. We'll talk about it in a little bit for this year. So I kind of did a little clickbait there on the video, but oh well. You know what's it's funny? It's one of those things is that I think that we have really good content and good videos for people to watch. It's very informative videos, and I want to get it not just to be able to do it. I just think it's good information for people that are wanting that content out there, and it's really hard to get that unless you do clickbait. You have other videos that are less informative out there on the internet, and because of the clickbait, they get a lot more views than we do. So, I might have to not 100% clickbait, but throw something out there that just makes people want to click on it because it's good information, I think.
Yeah.
All right, and then for this week we do have a video I actually recorded on Saturday on another new package that's new for us for this year. And it's a package that we just started putting on the Tremor. So the F-150 Tremor edition, or Tremor trim, that you can upgrade it to go a little bit above and beyond, kind of like Raptor does with the Raptor 37 and the Raptor R, taking that Tremor and doing something similar. We have a Tremor 37 and a Tremor R. So that video is pretty much done. I was going to have that go live this morning and forgot to finish that. Sarah edited most of it. Just one little tweak I wanted on it, and we'll get that live probably tomorrow morning. And then also we'll be going through the 24 Expedition this week. The complete guide will be going through the XL trim, the XLT, all the different trims in our complete guide videos on the 24 because the order banks are open up now. So again, something else we'll talk about. All right, that's enough of that. So let's, if you've tagged some of those members in there, let's talk a little bit about membership. So you can become a member
by hitting the join button next to that subscribe button. If you're an iPhone user, you can't do that. You have to go to your web browser and then go up to the little A and big A in the link. And from there, you have to request desktop browser.
And then
we are live.
Don't forget, you can find all of our content.
Yes, under the membership and community tab.
Yep. So you can find it all there. Most of it under the membership tab if you want any of that. So we do a couple videos a week, and also some other cool videos that we do when we're traveling too, that you get to see a lot of the members really like. So those are always pretty cool.
Yep.
So speaking of that, why don't you introduce our members?
All right.
Just tell us who's always in here.
So I'm going to start off with Vols44 is in here. I actually tagged 2 of his. Ridgeview, it's always glad to see you patrolling chat and keeping us in line. One of our moderators is Ridgeview. He is amazing. And up here, he is not a member. He's an honorary member. Niles.
Niles is in the house.
He is our, what is it? Our aftermarket expert.
Yep.
So if you have any aftermarket questions, he can certainly help you out.
So if you have some aftermarket specifics like, pricing, what can be done, right? You can just tag Niles instead of putting that question out to us, and Niles can answer that question for you.
Yep.
If it's Niles, you think it's something that everybody else needs to hear that's listening on the podcast, you might let us know. Otherwise.
All right. We have Snips. Kathleen Agresti. She joined last week. She says, love the shirt dresser. Tell Tim he looks a little bland sitting next to you tonight.
I do have my Ford Video Guys shirt on, though.
He has the Ford Video Guys shirt.
Do you guys see the thumbnail? That was my
that's his Bronco.
The tuner cartoon, which we got information on at the Carlisle event, and I went ahead and sent off and got that digital copy, and it just did the thumbnail just for fun this week.
Yes. Next, we have Rayanne. Hello, guys. I will not be in the chat tonight, but watching with the family.
Awesome.
We have Branson MG, who says hello to Sarah and Tim. We have Richard Peters. Howdy, Tim and Sarah, and everyone watching. Kevin for Sambos. He is one of our very helpful members that's been helping with our arrangements for our member meetup in August, along with our Maverick meetup.
Yep.
James Finch. Hello, all. All right, and Marsha changed her name. She's now Marsha. Hi, everyone. Hope you have a good day. All right, we got Jay. Jay.
The bunch of numbers behind it.
Yes. We have Scott Williams. Wayne is here with us. Mahathi. He joined in a little late, but you weren't too late. You didn't make it past the member stuff, so.
There you go.
All right. Francis Arrigo. Dennis Ferguson. We also have Roderick Quibido, who says, well, hi to all you Ford aficionados. Fine evening for a meetup. It is. It's gorgeous out. My son thought he needed to go swimming tonight. Love the Bronco art. I'm going to have that done when my blue 2-door Bronco arrives. All right. We also have Dennis Ferguson. Tomorrow when Maverick starts its build tomorrow.
Yeah.
Super exciting. We have Elizabeth saying evening all. John Rice saying howdy everyone. Misty Novotny.
From Missouri.
Yep, from Missouri. We have Stacy L. And he knows the truck looks great. She picked up, or did we ship to her?
I think they're coming to pick it up.
Okay.
The husband's coming this time.
Okay. Yep. All right, and we have Marine Vet. Hello, Ford fans. Mixed feelings lately. A little bit. And then hello at Ridgeview. How's the Annie? Northeast. Okay. And I just saw one from Rick and Kelly asking, did you do the River Festival? I did not. I haven't gone in a while. Our kids are pretty young, and so it's not really beneficial for us to go at this point.
I think we went about every night except for Saturday night. We went over Sunday.
Let's see. So. Oh, and RagnarCon. Fear not, time to allocate time with my fellow classmates while we learn about how Ford allocates vehicles so we don't get irate frustrate when our vehicle don't arrive due to how Ford allocates. He says that was hard.
Yeah. Okay.
A poet I am not.
All right. Well, thank you, all the members that are in here and everyone else, even if you're not a member. Thank you very much. And don't forget about also, there's a lot of channels that we support because there's people that we've become friends with, that we follow. All those are linked down in the description. We have a couple of our members that have YouTube channels, including RagnarCon. So he has a YouTube channel he started, as well as we do have the Maverick Hunter YouTube channel. That's PA Outdoorsman. When he pops in here, that's what his channel is. And then, of course, Bronco Nation, and then All Train Nation, and Johnny's Car Can Reviews is always a great one. I always feel like Johnny and I have a lot of similarities in how we do things. So I always like watching his. And I got a chance to listen a little bit last night. We had Jaden over, so wasn't able to talk much, but I was able to listen a lot.
Everyone,
anyway. All right. So the good dealer moment.
Vol says that is a great Maverick behind you, and it looks great on the wall.
See, now I need to get a Bronco to put right there.
Yes.
Just like mine, though, hopefully. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. First, I would like to thank you for all you do for the Maverick community. I've watched every episode since episode 3. However, today I would like to tell you about my local dealer, Leonardtown Ford, located in Leonardtown, Maryland. They are not a fancy dealership, but by today's standards, there's no fancy showroom, glitzy building, and no 50-foot Ford signs on the road. The dealership is just a good old-fashioned local dealer that knows its customers and the community. While we do have one of those mega Ford Lincoln dealerships just 10 miles away, it's just not the same. When I ordered my Maverick in 21, they provided a fair MSRP price based on MSRP, and when it arrived 9 months later, there was no BS about the price. They even honored a Ford special offer I received in the mail. Just 6 months later, my wife wanted a 23 Escape Platinum Hybrid, so off I went back to Leonardtown Ford and ordered it. 6 months later, when it arrived, they told me I had a $750 Ford offer, matched the lowest internet price on Ford ESP, and matched KBB on my trade. So if anyone needs a great dealer in the DC area, they should reach out to Brandon Campbell or Mike Lewis for a good old-fashioned honest dealer and great Ford service.
And that is
Turtle
on the Maverick Truck Club. So he reached out to me over there. So there you go. All right. Now moving on to that, and that's that's the other thing is that we hit a little bit later. We might be talking about where you need to find a good local dealer, and possibly, and we always try to promote people and hey, go to your local dealer. I say it in a lot of my videos when I do the video my complete guide videos that hey, go to your good local dealer and make sure and work with them. And this is information to help you work with your good local dealership. Just make sure they know how to do these things. So some of them just may not realize that they can do these things. And so we're here to kind of help those dealers. And then some of them, if you are struggling to find one, that's when if you want to reach out to us, we can help you out. But there's a lot of good dealers, and we like to highlight as many as we can every week so that you guys know where to go to, right? If you're in that area. So I don't feel like you have to drive clear to Salina, Kansas to do that. So,
yep.
As you'll find out later, we can't help everybody. Anyway, moving on. Scheduling information. Let's go over that. All right. So when we do this, we're going to I'm going to pop something up here because I decided to do this week. So let's go over briefly some scheduling terms. As we talk about this stuff, let's go over some of these. So first of all, we're going to talk about scheduling, and we're going to talk about, and those are, first, of course, you got the order bank. What the order bank is that's where the dealerships place stock in retail orders for their, stock vehicles and their customers' vehicles. Retail orders are customer placed orders. Stock orders are those to be placed in their lot for their lot inventory, right? So priority codes, kind of speaking of that, is the priority code that the dealer is giving to the orders. 10 to 19 for retail, and actually that's changed to 3 to 19 now. And then 20 to 80 is for stock inventory. You'll notice the lower the number, the better. And so anybody that's, you'll notice for that reason, retails are always looked at before any stock allocations or stock scheduling. So scheduling is when Ford schedules an order for production date out of the order bank for future months, right? So that's what we'll talk about. We're going to talk about scheduling now, and that's kind of that definition there. So also production date is it's scheduled to the week, scheduled to the day, and that's when Ford plans to build their vehicle or put their order or build their order, right? And then allocations, which we're going to talk about later. Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. Dealer needs an allocation to schedule an order from the order bank. So dealer earns allocations from their sales for each model within their region. We'll get more into that later in this episode. And then constraints, always keeping available. We're going to tell you about different constraints that are going on right now. And this is on usually a weekly basis. And these are options that may be in short supply or take longer to build. And that's why they're a constraint, just because of the time it takes to put them on. They can only do so much. Capacity, that is the planned production rate of a given motor, trim, option, that kind of thing. So when we say that like a certain trim is a 10% capacity, that means they can only make about 10% of their vehicles can be made with that trim or that package. Job 1 and 2, that is a production run within a model year. So it is split just in case they need to make changes for halfway through the production. They call that, then they'll make those changes and call that job 2, like they're doing on the Mach-E. That's a pretty big one, as well as Bronco and some of the others. And balance out, that means it's the end of the production or balance out of a certain that they can't produce any more of that certain option or model or color and that kind of thing. So, all right. So anyway, so most weeks I'm going to pop that up just to kind of as a reminder for you guys on what all that stuff means as we get into that. So let's start with, and actually I'm going to do it a little bit differently this week. I'm going to I do have the commodity report as well. So as we go through each model, I'm going to pull that up. So let me get through all this because it's sideways. So first, let's talk about 24 Mustang. So 24 Mustang, they are doing retail scheduling. As we mentioned earlier, retail is customer placed orders. They are going to be scheduling those orders, not stock Mustangs. So by the way, and speaking of that, we are supposed to be getting 5 Mustangs this month come in, 5 stock ones. So it'll be fun to get those in and do some videos for you guys.
Yes.
Now, exhausted commodity for August. So they are scheduling this month for August build dates. So usually 2 months in advance. So they are exhausted for commodities for August for the black painted roof, which is optional in the Night Pony package, and the optional 20-inch wheel. So those 2 are exhausted, they said, or so they're not going to schedule any. Now, somebody asked me, what if I have a Night Pony package with the black color? Because then it's not painted black. It should be the same color. So probably in that situation, there wouldn't be a problem of putting that order in or scheduling it. This week, we did not see where it's got to stop build on the Dark Horse. In fact, we do have one Dark Horse order that is previewing this week. So it looks like this may be the first week they're going to start scheduling Dark Horse. So I know my friends over at Driven Wild Outdoors, he's got a Dark Horse order in. So I'm sure he's happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
In other capacity issues or commodities we have on the Mustang, GTs are being built at a 50% take. That's a pretty high number. Convertible at 20%. But, both of those are within that amount of orders that are put in. Here's the one that's a little off is that Ford can make about 20% of their orders as the GT performance package. But there's 42% of the orders in the order bank are for the GT performance package, which is crazy. Night Pony package, their plan is to only produce about 8% of the vehicles with the Night Pony package on there. So keep that in mind because 20% of the orders in the order bank happen to have that option on there. Bronze appearance package, they can make about 5%. There's only 1% of the orders in the order bank that have the bronze appearance package. So if you have that package, you should be looking pretty good there. And then the black painted roof, 13% capacity is what they can build. So it means 13% of the full 100 can have that option on there. 41% of the orders, though, have the black roof on them. Let's see. What else? 20-inch optional wheel is at 6%, but only 1% of the orders are that. So, which is weird. And speaking of that, outside of Dark Horse, there's 2,187 orders in order bank for the Mustang. It's not that many, really. So there you go. All right, moving on to 23 Escape. They are scheduling for retail orders only. And in fact, a lot of models are doing only retail scheduling this week. So not if you don't have if a dealer doesn't have a retail order, then they probably won't have anything scheduled this week for you. Speaking of that, yeah, that's about it on that. So they have actually dropped off on the capacity list here, commodity list. They took the hybrid off completely. So the only thing on here is showing the plug-in hybrid being a 7% capacity, but 33% orders are plug-in hybrid. But there are only 3,900 orders in the order bank for the Escape. So there you go. All right, 23 Bronco Sport, retail scheduling only. Build at the same plan as the Maverick. No really major notes for this week on that other than retail ordering only. I think we only have one that's previewing because we only have one retail order in the order bank. Badlands, they're being built at about 17% capacity, but they're well within that. 16% of the orders are that package. Let's see what others that are there's several on here. Let me just go through ones that are kind of lower. If you have the Badlands with the premium package, 14% of the orders in the order bank have that package on there, but their capacity is only 8%. So that might take you a little longer if you have that package on there to get scheduled. Everything else is pretty within their capacity. The Black Diamond Off-Road package, 8% is the capacity to build those, and there's 0% of orders with that on there, it says. So you can feel free to put that on there. It should not hold up your build. Copilot 360 Assist Plus package, though, 34% of the orders can have that on there, and 45% of the orders in the order bank have that on the orders. So they're a little off by that. And Moonroof. I'd probably take your Moonroof off if you want to get scheduled a little faster, because it's at 20% versus 40% of the orders having it. Trailer tow package as well. There are a couple packages that require the tow package to add it. Because of that reason, there's more orders in the order bank than what they could build with the trailer tow package for the Bronco Sport. Other than that, two-tone paint. So on the Outer Banks and the Badlands, now it's optional to go with the painted roof. So if you want the black or the gray on the Badlands, or just the black on the Outer Banks, it's optional. But now there's more orders than what they have capacity for to do the two-tone. So if you want to get faster, go with the body-colored roof instead, which is standard on those. But there's only 912 orders in the order bank right now for Bronco Sport, compared to 40,000 for the Maverick. We'll get into that right now. Okay, moving on to the 20. Let's talk about 24 Edge. It says 23 in here. This week is the startup for 24 Edge scheduling. So if you have a 24 Edge order in there, this is the week they're going to start up for scheduling. They're going to start. I don't have the date for that. Not sure when they're going to start building those, but actually, it should be July. It should be coming up in July. So, not really much to note on Edge. There's not anything out. There's only 539 orders for Edge in the order bank right now, so it shouldn't be difficult if you have an Edge order to get it scheduled and built and to you pretty quick. So, 23 Bronco is not scheduling this week. There is a note here, and I read it earlier, and I was like, I'm not sure exactly what they're saying here, but we know that Base, Everglades, manual transmission, and Badlands with the option wheel are balanced out, means you can't order them. We also know Raptor, Heritage Limited are not available for retail ordering, and Heritage Limited 2-doors are on stop build right now. So they are delayed for production and scheduling. So if you have a Heritage Edition order, then it can't be scheduled right now. And the 2-doors also cannot be. They're going to delay the production of any that are already scheduled. So you'll see those dates being moved back. Another note on here is luxury package is available for stock ordering / amendments. So I don't know what that means. It makes it sound like you can, if you have a stock order, you can put the Lux package on there, but they're telling everybody else to not have it on there for retail orders. So not sure. I may be confused on what that means, so don't take that and get upset with Ford if you have one and you elected to go without the Lux package like they told you to. I don't know if that means we can start adding them. If that's well, let's just look at the capacity on that right now. All right, on the Bronco, by the way, there's about 23,000 or 20,800 orders in the order bank for the Bronco. There's still 211 orders in Priority 99. So those are the ones that were supposed to be canceled. Ford hasn't canceled them yet, I guess. Let's see. 2-door hardtop orders are within their capacity. So capacity is 15%, and they're at 15.7%. So it's pretty darn close there. Black Diamond, they're building those at 8% capacity. 6% of the orders in the order bank, though, so they're within capacity. Big Ben is 18%. Versus 14% of orders with that on there. Outer Banks capacity is 23%, with 17% of the orders with that on there. Badlands is 20%, with only 15% of the orders in the order bank being a Badlands. Wild Track is 15%, with 17% of the orders that are ordered with that trim on there. And then Heritage Edition, we actually have numbers now. Their capacity is 3% on Heritage Edition. 14% of their orders in the order bank have the Heritage Edition on there. So that's not looking good for those Heritage Edition builds. What else? Total hardtops, 67% is the capacity. That's 2-door and 4-door. But 88% of the orders have the hardtop on it that are either a 2-door or a 4-door hardtop. But if you have a soft top, you're looking good, because only 11% of the orders in order maker are soft top, and they can build 33%. So that would be the way to go if you're that way. So, Lux package, 40% of capacity. Sasquatch is 40%. Both of those, they have more orders than that in the order bank. So that's still a major constraint. So there you go. All right. 23 Explorer, they are doing retail ordering only. I think we had one previewing this week. Really no capacities here. They actually are pretty good on hybrids. So their capacity on building Explorer hybrids is 2%, which is real low, but they're saying they don't have any hybrid orders in the order bank. In fact, they only have 1,900 orders total in the Explorer order bank right now. So these are some the models that are scheduling and building fast is your Edge, your Explorer, your Expeditions, by the way. Which, speaking of that, let's talk about Expedition. So 23 Expedition, saying retail only scheduling. And I mean, really, they should be scheduling out, I believe, this month for 23 Expedition because 24 is going to be scheduling soon. Order bank opened today for 24 Expedition. I did check, and I think it must have opened up about 4 p.m. So that opened today. We know that 24 production starts August 28th. I'm throwing out the dates, even though fortunately I shouldn't. Oh well. Anyway, yeah. So that's information on that. We'll talk more about 24 Expedition in just a little bit. Speaking of 23, as they close that out, 7% is their capacity on the mahogany trim for the limited. And 21% of the orders still have that on their orders. So if you're wanting to get a 23, not have to put in a 24 order, you might want to switch away from that. Otherwise, I'd probably put in that 24 order with your dealer right now since the order banks are open and add that mahogany trim if you're wanting that. Long wheelbase, 50%. So they're 50-50 now, which is a good number for them. So that means 50% of them can be built with the longer wheelbase, the max length, than the regular. 49% of the orders in order banks have the max length. Dual exhaust, there are over capacity there quite a bit. 12% of the orders in the order bank have the dual exhaust, but only 6.7% is their capacity. I love how they say 6.7. They got it down to the 6.7. Dual exhaust would be like your stealth packages, I believe, your Timberline, some of those. And then orders in the order bank for the 23, there's still 1,292 orders left in the order bank for the Expedition. So hopefully they can schedule all those this month because I think they probably won't because they have more orders for the mahogany seats than what they can do. So they probably won't happen. So I would say those out there, you want to put in an Expedition order for your 24 if you're not scheduled yet. 23 Maverick retail and fleet scheduling is happening this week, and this is for this month's allocations for August build dates. And we'll talk a little bit about more of that. One of the things I noticed: key constraints, splash guards is still on there, trifold bed cover, load box bed liner. Hitch is not on there now. It's been on there in previous weeks. It is not listed this week. So I don't know if you need to ditch the hitch. So, and let's talk about capacities on this. So hybrid orders, there's still 79% of the orders in the order bank are hybrid engine, but they're taking that at 50% capacity now. They're 50-50 between hybrid and gas. And only 21% are gas. So, there you go. If you have a gas order, you're looking good. XL was at 15% capacity, and according to this, it's now 25% capacity. So this might be the month for XL, which is one of the reasons why I'm kind of upset about what we're going to talk about later, is that we had some people with XL, and now they're out of luck. Anyway, we'll talk about it in a second. Get into that. 32% of the orders in the order bank, though, are for the XL trim. XLT luxury package is 30% still, so they're still within that. Lariat luxury package is 25%. Orders are within that capacity. Tremor package is 8%. Those numbers haven't changed. Tremor appearance is 3%. And then the black appearance package is still 10%, with orders being less than that. Copilot 360 is 60%, and only 52% of the orders have that on there, so you're good there. That driver assist package, they actually call it's a Copilot 360 Assist Plus package that's available in the Lariat. Also requires a Lariat luxury package. Capacity, that's 25%. Only 9% of the orders have that on there. So, but again, like on the Lariat trim, you're looking Lariat Luxury being a capacity of 25%. Also, driver, if you have the driver assist, is another 25% for those. So the more of those you have on there, the harder it's going to be to get scheduled. Again, the ones down below that are just stay away from any of them. They're basically all your bed accessories. So your bed covers, bed extender, the bed tray liner, stay away from that. Spray and bed liner, it's within capacity, 39% versus 19%, but that also means that 61% are going to be without a bed liner. So, right, spray and liner. So keep that in mind as well. The drop-in liner is 25% capacity. Protective film, I would take that off of your order. It'll also delay your order from showing up at the dealer because it has to sit after they put it on at the factory. Moonroof is at 38%. So again, if you have like a moonroof, a Lariat Luxury, and a Copilot 360 Assist Plus, now you have 3 constraints. If you have, so there you go. Splash guards 5%. So nothing new there. They are still over capacity on the trailer hitch. So 65% is their capacity. 73% of the orders have the hitch on there. So, all right. 24 Ranger is not scheduling this week. And yes, we said 24. We are moving on to 24. A lot of people are like, oh, I heard 24 Ranger is going to start being produced till September. Well, you heard wrong because you didn't watch Ford Video Guy. So, so 24 Ranger is scheduling next week. They're going to start scheduling next week for production dates for August. August 7th is job 1. So that's coming up. So it may delay a little bit, but it shouldn't take it into September. So they're going to start scheduling Ranger next week. It says there's only 1,500 orders in the order bank for the Ranger. So there you go. Some of you on the Maverick want to go to an XLT Ranger. I don't know. It's an option. Anyway, moving on. No constraints on that yet because there's not that many orders to be constrained. 23 F-150. They are scheduling this week for stock and retail orders for the build week of July 10th. So just 4 weeks. See, the only thing I see that's constrained a little bit is Tremor packages are only being scheduled, or Tremor trim is only being scheduled at 3% of the orders. Lariat Black Appearance Package is 3%. Platinum is 1%. Platinum Black Appearance Package is 1%. XLT Black Appearance Package is only 5%, and STX Black Appearance Package is only 1%. So the ones that are over capacity on that is your XLT Black Appearance Package and STX Black Appearance Package. Both of those, they have more orders than what their percentage is. But again, with those low numbers, that's going to make it more difficult for yours to get scheduled. I've had some people say, well, why is mine not getting scheduled? It's XLT Black Appearance Package. Well, that's 5%. So only 5% of all the orders they build can have that on there. So that is one thing. Also, make sure you take all your bed covers off. Those will hold up your builds. Currently, there's only 3,600 F-150 orders in the order bank, not counting Raptor and Lightning, by the way. But for some reason, there's 154 orders in Priority 99. Not sure why that is. Dealers, pay attention. All right. What else we got here? Oh, some other constraints there to think about is that outside of capacity numbers they gave us is that they do need hybrid and EcoBoost order, 3.5 liter EcoBoost orders. They're looking for those. I did notice we had several hybrids that were looking to be scheduled. Limited scheduling on moonroofs. So if you have that, you might want to take it off. It says no additional heritage packages. Again, we have a bunch of them on a lot for like, actually, what did you just reprice those? We have some for 9,000 off.
What are they?
Heritage F-150 Heritage Edition.
I think so.
We have some that are marked like $9,000 off. So
I don't look at the formula to see what you guys mark them off. I just look at the prices and put it in.
All right. And limited scheduling of 20-inch all-terrain tires. Also limited 18-inch chrome appearance package wheel. And same ones as last week. No black running boards and no 17-inch all-season tires for the XL two-wheel drive.
So these are national numbers, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because
they give us, this is national numbers. They used to do regional, and then they stopped doing that
because people
when we lost our Ford reps.
Are wowed by the only 1,500 Rangers.
Yep, that's an entire U.S. order bank. Yep, at the bottom
Okay.
it says total U.S. retail orders.
And the number for the Escape, they were wowed over that one too.
I mean, we see that typically those
Yeah.
can be built a little faster. Not as many people want those. I mean,
Yeah.
right now the popular builds are, Maverick, Bronco, F-150 always sells well, Super Duty. Those are the popular, models. Your E's. I always say if it starts with an E, you can get one pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Starts with an E, you can get it easily.
That also means it's a SUV.
Yes, SUV. The EUVs.
They used to have the SUVs all start with an
Bronco
E,
Sports and SUV.
and then all the cars started with an F: Focus, Fiesta, Fusion. And you
Yeah.
had Escape, EcoSport,
Yep.
Explorer, Edge, Expedition.
All right, let's talk about Super Duty. Super Duty is scheduling this week for build weeks in June, the week of June. Well, that's just next week. It says June 19th through July 24th. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be July 19th or July 24th. That's probably correct. Might be a typo. Very limited scheduling on King Ranch and Platinum. So I know a lot of people with those are looking to get those scheduled. Very limited scheduling on those. Exhausted availability on limited. And that usually means that they pretty much have, all the orders they can on that. Limited availability on interior work surface. Limited availability for the F600 with the 4x4. Limited availability for the 4-corner strobe light system. That's typically you see those on your fleet trucks. Limited availability for the 6.8 liter on the XL standard heavy duty alternator. And then limited availability on the black Onyx trim. So somebody asked me on that as well last week and said, well, wait a minute, that's the platinum trim is black Onyx. And I don't know if that means, so there are two different interior colors for the platinum trim. One's black Onyx, the other is black Onyx with the Carmelo seats. So I'm not sure if it would include that. It does say option 89B. So you might look and see what color code you have for your interior trim. 89B is what it's looking for. I do know the Lariat trim is black Onyx as well. So anyway. So let's look at the capacities for the Super Duty real quick. King Ranch is being built at only 4% capacity, with 19% of the orders in order bank being King Ranch. Platinum is being built at 5% capacity, with 23% of the orders in the order bank being Platinum. Limited is only 2%. So only 2% of the F-150s built each week. It's going to be the limited trim, 11% in the order bank. Lariat is at 21% with 22% in the order bank, and Tremor package is 10% with 11%. So I had some people like, hey, I don't have anything complicated. I just have the Tremor package. I'm like, well, but if you have a platinum with the Tremor, you're 5% and then 10%. So that's going to be difficult. So hopefully you have a Lariat trim or an XLT. Anyway, I haven't done a video on Super Duty in a while. Maybe you got to go Lariat for the Tremor. I can't remember. But anyway,
Possibly.
6.7 liter diesel engine, 29% is the capacity. So that is actually the best of all the engines in a way of how many they're building. 31% of the orders in the order bank are the diesel engine. That's the standard diesel. There is the high output diesel engine, which is new for this year. 10% is their capacity, with almost half of the orders having that engine. So that's going to be difficult if you have the high output diesel engine. That could be one of the things that's holding yours from being scheduled. The 7.3 liter gas engine is within capacity. They have 17% of the orders with that, and 19% is their capacity. So other than that, Vista moonroof, over about 50% of the orders in the order bank have the Vista moonroof, the twin panel moonroof, but their capacity is only 20%. So that is something else you might think about taking off your order if you're really needing your Super Duty. Spray and bed liner, just take that off. But the capacity is 20% on those. In fact, when they close it out, of course, we're going to talk about here in a little bit about the order banks closing altogether, but 20% is the capacity on spray and bed liner. So, yeah, you want to take that off your order. Running boards, 11% capacity versus 15%. So you can also, we did this on a lot of Super Duties. Ford needed some XL orders, so we ordered a bunch of XLs without the running boards. We took them off, and a lot of them got scheduled. Gave us extra allocations as well for those. And then when they came in, we put running boards on them. because you can. So I think it's more, and like we talked about earlier, it may not be about supply, but also time that it takes to put those things on. So they may see that, hey, if we had less running boards, we could pump out more vehicles. They're going to be looking for orders without them, so they can push more out. So something to think about. Fifth wheel prep package. That's the fifth wheel gooseneck prep package. Gets you the wiring, the holes drilled in the bed. That capacity on that's 26%, but 47% of the orders in the order bank have that on there. I know we have a member that's trying to get his scheduled, and we removed it today. We'll see if we can get that one scheduled for him this week. Cabin chassis is 5% with 14% of the orders as a cabin chassis. So, and 70% of the orders in order bank have the Pro Trailer Backup Assist, but only 20% of the vehicles can be built with that on there. So that is why that is a major constraint that they've been talking about. There's 42,487 Super Duty orders in the order banks right now nationally, and this was amazes me. 1,771 orders still in Party 99. So, and the reason that might be is that dealers probably put your order in. If you wanted something that wasn't available until job 2, then they had to put your order in as a Party 99. More than likely, when that became available, they put that option on there and forgot to take it out of Party 99 and give you a 10. So you might be asking your dealers, not us, we don't have any, but you might ask your dealers, what is my priority code for my order? Make sure it's not 99. All right, what else? Transit Connect van, they're scheduling this week for build dates in August. Both the van and the wagon. There's nothing on the constraint. There's still 6,000 Transit Connect orders that need to be built because they are sunsetting this, which means they're not going to build the Transit Connect in the U.S. anymore. So they need to get those 6,000 scheduled and built before they end this thing so that everybody can get theirs. What else? Transit scheduling this week for build weeks August 14th and the week of August 21st. Just a note, they have down weeks for the Transit on the week of July 31st and the week of August 7th. Same commodity constraints on that as we've had before. Currently not available is the power sliding door. Limited availability for the 360-degree camera, the power outlet, the low roof bus, 3.5 liter GTDI engine. That's 99G, and the trail package is very limited on how many they can schedule. Orders needed from dealers for BEV for the e-transits. They're looking for orders for that because they can build more. They are balanced out on the power running board. The side barn doors, those are the ones that kind of flip out, right, and in, like the old vans, as well as all crew van body codes and the cabin chassis, the 10360 GVWR for vans, cabin chassis, and cutaways. So those haven't changed in a long time. And then capacities on those. The only one's really over capacity is the medium roof. So, and then of course that engine they mentioned. So everything we kind of mentioned already is already kind of over capacity on what they can build. So there's 18,400 transit orders in the order bank. So right now, and that brings us to the last one, Mach E. So Mach E is scheduling this week, retail only, which I don't know if we have any retail orders. We didn't have any previewing this week. So they are building, I believe, for the week of, for the start of job 2. So that's they're calling it model year 23 and a half model year. So that's going to be starting coming up on the 28th this month. So anyway, talk about the only thing I have on here is all-wheel drive standard range batteries not available for production until August 21st schedule week. So if you have a standard range all-wheel drive version, you probably will not get scheduled. So, yeah, that's about it. They have a lot of orders for the standard range because that's that new battery, right? So, all right, and there's only 83 Mach-E orders in the order bank. 83. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but that's a low number because Ford really wants to make a lot of those and get them out. So that's going to make it easy for dealers to get them because they don't have any retail orders. So, all right, that's all the scheduling.
Okay.
Any major questions about scheduling? It's not
Sure.
related to the Maverick. No.
What does clean mean when it comes to scheduling?
So if your order says it's clean, it means it's a good order. It doesn't have a compatibility issue. So like if sometimes they might change that. A lot of times when you put an order in, they don't allow you to put something in there that can't not buildable. But occasionally, like something might balance out. So then, if your order was put in before that and it balances out, then it becomes a compatibility issue. But an unscheduled clean means that it's something that they can build. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it can be scheduled fast. It just means that it can be built.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. There were a few others. What are the odds my dark horse gets scheduled this year? I have the 4 out of 4 allocation at my dealer.
Okay, so we need to remember for one, production this year is 18-month for 24 model year. So it's going to run through this year and into almost entire next year as well. So those 4 allocations will be given to them over a 18-month time period. So it could, if you're number 4, more than likely it's going to be 2024 calendar year, would be my guess. If you're first, then probably coming up pretty soon. So
Stock. Do we know stock numbers or like the number of stock orders put in
for the Mustang,
for Ranger?
how many Ranger orders?
Yeah,
I don't know.
stock.
Oh, for stock versus retail?
Yeah.
Oh, that just tells total retail.
Okay.
And actually, this is just retail orders. Never mind.
Okay.
That doesn't say stock orders. So we don't know stock order numbers, but
Okay.
retail, whatever it was, I mentioned it. I don't know what that number was. Didn't I say like 1,500? 1,500 retail orders. So
Okay. Okay. Michael Orth said, how many priority 99s for Maverick did they cancel any?
I forgot to mention that, didn't I?
Yep.
Let me talk about that. Here, I know on top of my head. Okay, so there's 41,000 retail orders for the Maverick in the order bank, unscheduled orders. So 41,000, and there's 4,700 priority 99s.
Yeah.
So that means there's going to be about 4,700 orders that will get canceled.
All right.
None by us. So.
Sarah, does exhausted availability on the limited Super Duty mean that if the order is not scheduled at this time, it will be canceled?
No, that just means that in this week that they don't have any more availability to schedule a limited. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it'll be canceled.
All
they
right.
will not actually. They won't. Even like the Bronco, they actually said, hey, we're going to put these orders. If you don't have them COVP by this deadline, they're going to be given a priority 99 and they'll be canceled. Well, they all were given priority 99s, but they didn't cancel them. So Ford is very slow to cancel any orders. So no.
Okay. All right.
Anything else on
I got that
scheduling
one,
only?
Francis. Are we allowed to discuss the lower priority codes?
Yeah. So Ford is now looks like allowing you to use a party code 3 to 9 as well. They're saying they're going to let us know when we should use it. They said right now they say not to because they don't know if it works. So I would, as a dealer, probably not go below 10 right now because they're still testing it out. Because if you have somebody in like a 9 or whatever, it might cause it to not get scheduled. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't use them yet, but I think it is something that they're working with. Probably something they're hoping to launch for 24 model year. That just allows dealers then to go, since they're not really basically they're not using 3 to 9. They haven't been using those numbers. Usually the region would put something down into a 1 or a 2, like a lot of your Lightnings. Once you order a Lightning and it's a good clean build, they'll put it a priority 1, meaning that it needs to be scheduled next time that dealer has an allocation. Period. And so like this last time we had all of our Lightning schedule. Priority 2, usually the region uses. So priority 1s are usually used for specialty builds like Lightning, Raptors, Dark Horses, that kind of stuff. Usually you'll see priority 1s. And then 2s, usually the region might take an order and go, okay, this they have earned this allocation for this order, so they'll try to bring it down to 2 so it can get scheduled first. But they aren't really using 3 to 9. So Ford realized that, so they said, "Hey, we can help dealerships structure their orders by giving them not just 10 to 19, but now we can give them 3 to 9 as well. So it'd be a 3 to 19, and we can structure those out if you need to as a dealer to go, okay, I need this order to be first. I'm going to put that as a 3, right? Because this person, maybe they, this is the second time ordering a vehicle or something, or maybe we messed up, like, and we changed a color on an order. And so, when we put that order in, I want that a priority 3. I want to go above my others because I messed up and I ordered the wrong color for the customer. I need this in order as quick as possible. That kind of stuff. So they can make lower numbers for those. And instead of tiering them out from 10 to 19, now they can tier them out from 3 to 19. So it just makes it, since they're not using the numbers. So.
See, Ridgeview said zone managers used to use 3 to 9 all the time, but if there's no zone managers, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There are a few. We do have one.
Yes. On that, he said that the one that asked about that said that his dealer is saying that he can't get put in as priority 8. Well, Ford has asked you not to use it yet. Also, he may not know about it yet. We know that some dealers do not look at the news bulletins every day or every week.
Yeah, that's in Webdo.
Tim looks at them every morning, first thing.
Yep.
It is the first thing he does every single morning. Most dealers are not that diligent.
Yeah. So I have it in my agenda. The first thing I do when I get in is I look for any news bulletins that happened overnight. I look and see if any order guides have changed overnight. I look and see if any Ford media news has been released, and I look in Webdo and see if there's any little notes in there. So I have like 4 things that I do every morning before I get started in my day. And then sometimes I don't always check back on those throughout the day, but I have my notifications set up for emails, immediate emails for any news updates. So, all right. Anything else before moving on? I guess not. She's going to go on and just type away.
Yes. I'm helping Ridgeview. His daughter is trying to become a member. So we're making sure to see if she is a member.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, typing away, I'm going to move on to dealer news.
Okay.
As we mentioned earlier, the 24 Expedition order banks opened up today. Very soft opening for this one. Not a major changes on the 24 Expedition, not a refresh year. We did have a new redesign in 22. So that typically happens every 3 years. So we'll probably be next year for that. So not a lot of major changes, just a few. So order banks opened up today. Order guides were supposed to be available yesterday. They did become available this morning, which was nice. So here are a couple different of the changes. I actually did a video on this, so you can check it out if you want to. So we'll just do a quick fast on this. So in fact, let's go over to the built-in price. See if I can do this right. Boom. All right.
What's with the dog for dealer news? The dog is carrying a newspaper.
He's carrying a newspaper. The news. Yeah. All right. So they have removed a couple colors for this year. So you see this is the 24 Expedition. In fact, if you go to, I'll go back. If you go to shop, and actually they made it easier on this one. Ranger, it's a little different. So if you look at Ranger 23, where's the 24 Ranger? You actually got to go way down here to find Ranger, to the future ones. But they did it, and the Mustang the same way. But on Expedition, they made it easy on us, and they put it right here. So, so there's 2 colors they did away with for this year that they're not doing, and that's Infinite Blue Metallic Tinted Clear Coat and Forged Green, which is your mom's color. So, but new for this year, and it's hard to tell the color, is Wild Green. So I'm like, I can't wait to see that. And I'm like, well, that actually is the same color as the Forged Green. Technically. So if you look at the 23 Forged Green, it looks much lighter than that on here. Like Forged Green looks like almost a lime, and it's not. I'm like, it's not that color. Even with the most sun on it, it's not that color. This actually is pretty accurate on what Forged Green looks like. So we'll see. Makes me think that Wild Green is going to be darker than this. Is my gut on that. So hopefully Ford Authority, I'm sure Ford Authority will find one out. So look for Ford Authority. Maybe they'll show what the Wild Green actually looks like. Anyway, that we have that new color out this year. Blue Cruise changed for this year as well. So the same as the other. So on the Platinum Edition or the Platinum trim, you can get Blue Cruise just like last year. But last year, where it was included with a free 3-year subscription, this year it's like the Mach-E now, where you do not get a 3-year subscription. You get a 90-day trial with the hardware there. And then if you want to prepay, you can do that with a 3-year optional purchase of and it's $2,100. And the reason I tell you that is because if you go here, Platinum trim is the one you're supposed to be able to get this on. Platinum trim. It is not showing on build and price. I'll be doing videos on all these and I'll be highlighting that out, but it is not. If you look through here, it is that option of adding the 3-year prepaid subscription for $2,100 is not on build and price anywhere. Not only that, but the build, but on the price list that probably is out in the Expedition forums does not show it as well. Because I was looking on there and said, well, how much is it? I assume it's $2,100, but I don't know. But it is not on the price list either. So I built one out today so I could see what it would cost. So I built out a Platinum with the with adding that. It is a certain option code, and that's how I found out that it is $2,100. But as you can see, it's nowhere to be listed in there. So anyway, so if you want to prepay, it's $2,100, just like it is on the Mach-E. Again, is it worth 800? Well, actually, it's less than $800 there. But if you get it ahead of time, it's only $700 a year. Still wouldn't pay for it. Anyway, they updated the navigation system for this year. So last year there was 2 options. There was the connected navigation. So you got 3 months a trial, and then you had to pay for the subscription after that. Or you got the built-in connected. This year they're going to one navigation pricing and one navigation called connected navigation and streaming surface. So you get 1 year free when you buy on all trims that have the navigation. So then after 1 year, you'll have to pay for a subscription after that. So at least they're making it simple and making it just the same for all of them. So the tow hooks on the 4x4s, that was available. The tow hooks are standard on all 4x4s. Now you have to not only have 4x4, but you also have to have the heavy duty trailer tow package as well. But it's also on all Timberlines. So you don't there. Let's see what else. USB Type-C is being added to the second row seats. So you have an A and a C now for those. I love using the USB-C port. Running boards. So when you go to, actually, let's talk about the rails first. So this year, and I love how Ford doesn't have this stuff updated on their website. So sometimes I just laugh about it. Yeah, all you can do is laugh. All right. So on the 600A, which is the Platinum, as well as the 400A, which is the King Ranch edition, they have changed the roof rack rails to where they're supposed to, the end caps, which is down here on the end of those are supposed to be black this year instead of chrome, and then but still chrome rails. So I noticed they have not updated the image for this year. So they got the building price, but they don't have all the right images. In fact, let's go to the XLT because this is something else I want to talk about. You'll notice on the XLT, we've actually talked about being a constraint for the side running boards with a chrome accent on the 202A and on the limited 301A. So they were making the black running boards. Well, now that's the way it's going to be for this model year.
Okay.
So it's going to be black. But look at this. So black running boards are supposed to be standard on this. Well, when you go to the 202A equipment group, no running boards. So
I love the first few months with the ordering system.
Ford, you need to fix that because that's broken.
There are so many things.
Somebody forgot to get that to the. I mean, it was pretty easy. You just could have left the picture the same. I mean,
so question: we now have a new green,
funny.
wild green.
Yes.
Is there also eruption green?
No, there wasn't last year either. Last year was forged green.
Last year was forged green. How many greens are they going to come up with?
There is an eruption green on the Bronco.
Right.
But not on there wasn't on this forged green.
So eruption green is on Bronco. You have forged green. You also now have wild green
But there's not going to be a forged green. That's going away.
Right. But they also have the forest green for the Ranger for the Forest Splash package.
Yes, that's discontinued as well.
I know, but still, how many greens do you need to make?
Well, it's the new gray. Here's the deal. So something to take note of is that you notice Forge Green is going away from the Expedition. Explorer has Forge Green as well. So expect 4 and 24 that to go away of the Explorer. So if you are thinking about that, you might keep that in mind when you're looking at the Explorer. So, all right. Okay, so that's Expedition changes. 23 model year Super Duty order bank is closing on all trims. A lot of them aren't available anyway. Because I actually had said this, I think it was last week. Why don't they don't just shut down the Super Duty altogether? Because there's not many things you can order. So they listened to me. So they're going to close it down. This was it the 16th? So in 3 days, Friday is the last day you can order a Super Duty in any configuration. Those are closing up. You have till the 30th to do COVP on those. It says 22 to 23 model year. If you have a customer with a 22 Super Duty retail order that has not scheduled, you're encouraged to place a 23 Super Duty retail order for that customer. You should have done that by now. Some of these things I'm like, really? You should have done that back in November. 23 to 24, please note that there is no intention of providing a model year transition offer for those customers who do not get their 23 Super D built and need to reorder 24. What else? Webdo will allow dealers to modify specs on existing retail orders after the retail order bank has closed, but you can't go to a trim that's been closed. Like you can't go from Lariat to King Ranch. King Ranch is closed. And then let's see what else. 23 model year Super Duty dealer stock inventory ordering will remain open. But again, retails will always be looked at first. So there you go. All right. Keep going on the Super Duty bandwagon here. This one that we've actually talked about in the past. I mentioned it several live streams ago. On the King Ranch and the Platinum, you're encouraged to add the option of adding this option called multi-contoured seat removal 91X to a King Ranch and Platinum order to assist with scheduling. So basically that removes the multi-contoured seat from your order. So it says it will give you a discount of $300, and it will not be able to be retrofitted on later. So you won't be able to add this later after it schedules. You won't be able to do it after it comes into the dealer. It will not be available to be done. It says dealers should communicate with the customers who have unscheduled King Ranch and Platinum orders equipped with the multi-contoured seat to have the potential to schedule opportunity with the multi-contoured seat removal. So they should just remove that completely from the order guide, because it's been a problem on the F-150 and now on this, just remove it altogether. All right. Couple more things. One of them is on the Mustang Mach-E. So that came out today to remind dealers to tell their sales guys about the new job aid that's available on the Mustang Mach-E. And what it does, it's kind of cool. It actually compares job 1 versus job 2, so they can help their customers understand the difference and say, hey, I have a job 1 order or I have a job 2. So anything ordered May 1st or later is a job 2 production order. All right. So the pricing for job 2 is what they're going to get. Anybody that had a job 1 that is not scheduled yet, that isn't built yet, that isn't going to be repriced because they did change the pricing on job 2. You will not get that, but you will get a $2,000 bonus cash for those orders. Also, your Blue Cruise won't be any different. So you'll have Blue Cruise 1.2. And so, which was standard for a 3-year service on all trims other than Select, and Select could add it on theirs for $1,900. So that won't change. So they'll actually probably be better off because it's going to be, those trims now come with it instead of having to pay $2,100. Also, the mobile power cord was standard on all the trims prior to May 1st. Whereas job 2 now is $500. So it's not standard on a Mach-E. Anything ordered after May 1st, you had to, if you wanted the mobile power cord, you have to add it. It's $500 more, as well as if you want the Blue Cruise for 3 years, you got to add the $2,100 option for that. Other than that, destination delivery charge did go up for those ordered after May 1st, but it will not be added to the ones before May 1st. So actually, there's a page 2 where they actually compare each of a couple different scenarios in here, saying, for instance, if you had a Select rear-wheel drive from job 1, your end price would be like $45,700. They just gave it an instance there with the mobile power cord was included and where the destination charge was and everything, that actually it would come out about $500 more than job 2. So that's pretty close. If a job 2 order, since it's, even though it's cheaper, when you figure in because of that rebate, it's going to be only about $500 more because they have to pay for the mobile power cord, whereas they didn't have to for job 1. So they gave several scenarios where they're actually showing, like, if you're a premium standard range rear-wheel drive, then you're actually coming out $800 ahead of a job 2. Because of that $2,000 private offer they're giving you, or a rebate they're giving you. So anyway, and then they're saying on a route, California Route 1, you're actually $3,600 ahead. So it's actually cheaper as a job 1. So they're trying to encourage people to have a job 1, not feel like that they're getting, taken advantage of because they didn't. Should they just cancel that order and put in a job 2 one? But you should feel okay that you have a job 1. Lastly, I want to talk about is actually Ford News. Actually, we're talking about that. I look those up every day. So here's a Ford News that came out this week on actually June 8th. So right after a live stream last week, Ford had said they are on track for the F-150 Lightning to be able to pick up the production, especially on the XLT trim. So their goal is that they think that any order that's in the order bank right now, that they can take delivery as early as September. For those. So that's their goal. They are ramping up. Their hope is to be able to build 150,000 of those within a year. And so this is the biggest. Finally, we're seeing XLT trim being produced in a higher number this summer. So in fact, I noticed a lot of ours got scheduled for August build dates. So I think the last one was an August 28th build date for the ones that just got scheduled today. But all of our ones that had reservations and orders from reservations put in, they've all been scheduled for August build dates. So it's really encouraging to see. Also, starting in next year, they're going to be able to have adapters to be able to use the Tesla chargers. So not to forget, I don't know if I mentioned that in the live stream, but that's kind of a cool addition as well. So they'll be given adapters so you can use the Tesla superchargers. So 12,000 of those. So now you're all kinds of places to charge, and maybe they're a little more dependable than EAs. I don't know. Any questions?
Nope, not really.
Oh. All right. Recalls. We got a few recalls to go over in here. Not too many. One has to do with my Lightning.
Oh.
I actually have noticed that doing it.
Did you see the new thing in the YouTube chat? You can now do reactions like you can in Facebook.
I saw that on Johnny's when I was on his the other night.
Okay.
I'm in the know. All right.
Are you?
Yep. All right. Recalls. All right. We got a few here to cover. So this first one's actually a customer satisfaction program, 22N19. And this is for expeditions and navigators, the 2021 model year expedition navigators that had a recall done remember they had a lot of them had the underhood fire thing for the expeditions. A lot of them had those recalls done. So if you got that recall done to add the different cooling fan for those, then now they've given an battery junction box one-time replacement available. So basically, if you had that safety recall and the recall is closed, means it's been performed, then this program will initiate a no-charge one-time replacement if needed to the battery junction box for 10 years of service and unlimited miles for the warranty start date of the vehicle. So, and this can be transitioned to the subsequent owners. So basically, if a vehicle, an Expedition Navigator, had the recall done and needs to be the battery junction box needs to be replaced, they'll do that and they'll pay for that one time for you. And so that is, they're saying you have up to 10 years for that and unlimited miles. So there you go. And letters are going to go out to owners next week about that. So, all right. Next one is on the Maverick. So 22 model year Maverick Hybrid. This is a customer satisfaction program. 22 Bravo 39. This is for Maverick no start condition. So a customer satisfaction program this one has an expiration of June 30th of 24. So you have 1 year to get this done. It's to encourage dealers and customers to have this service performed as soon as possible. So what they basically do is, in some affected vehicles, a no crank, no start condition may occur, and this may be due to a loose or detached eyelet solder connection in the battery cable assembly at the battery junction box. So if it has this could happen. Basically, you need to go into your dealership, have them look at it. Letters are going to go out next week to those that might be affected. It's 21,500 of the vehicles. So this is a small thing, but it's just to make sure that you don't have a situation where your vehicle doesn't start. So go in and have that performed. You'll get letters about it next week if you're involved in that. So. And it's not going to be everybody from 22 model year. So, because there was more than 21,000 produced, right? So it's not everybody's going to get that. But if you do, you'll get a letter. Here's a recall, safety recall 23S30 on 22 and 23 model year F-150 Lightnings. This is the rear light bar replacement. We talked about this on mine.
Yes.
So mine is actually doing this. So it says 16,364 vehicles are affected. And basically, in these affected vehicles, there may be a microscopic crack in the rear light bar reversing lamp lenses. So basically, you would have to have a Lariat or Platinum to have the light bar on the tailgate. If a microscopic crack has been initiated, it can propagate further via various methods such as temperature cycling, vehicle vibration, the tailgate slam. So mine actually has it. So condensation will be inside that lens in there, and I actually have this. I've noticed it on mine. So they're basically they're gonna replace that for you on your vehicle. So there you go. So it could the reverse lamps could be inoperative as well. But anyway, so they said letters will go out eventually once they have repair instructions and parts information to the dealers. So not yet, but there you go. So yeah, there you go. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Recalls. Anything else?
No. More scheduling questions.
Can I skip this next one?
Yeah.
All right. For Is It True this week? Let me grab my notes. So, is it true that Long McArthur isn't getting any allocations this month for the Maverick? Yes, it is true. Yeah, we've been ousted. No, we're getting 0 allocations this month. There's good reason for it. Well, I don't know if there's good reason, but there's a reason for it. There's a reason. So we're not getting any Maverick allocations this month. Basically, Ford's telling us that last month we received 75. I thought it was because of ramp up in production for the third shift, which we'll talk about in a second, because that is not the case from what I've been told. Because we were told at one point from our dealer news information from Ford was that July production was going to be the start of third shift ramp up. So my thought was maybe that's why we got more allocations this month was for that. According to Ford or our rep, they basically said no. What they did was they gave us the remaining of our allocations for what we've earned for the year, and so I was confused because I had said, well, don't you earn them on a monthly basis? You don't get them all in a year. And they said, oh, this is the first time in any model where they actually gave you your number a year in advance of what you're going to get for the entire year with no exclusions, I guess. So according to that makes it sound like we will not get any more allocations the rest of the year. We'll have to wait and see what happens next month.
Yeah.
Every month we put in for supplements. So if the region has allocations not used, which could seriously happen this month because we actually account for about 3/4 of the Maverick sales in the KC region.
Yep.
Every month. So, but anyway, so we'll get into allocations and everything and how it should be configured. But our thought was you earn it each month based on your sales volume. So what you're saying is since we got 0, that we had no sales in the last 12 months, that doesn't make sense. But they says no. This is based. They basically told you how many you're going to get for the next year, and not that we like that number to begin with, because it was not based on the right thing. We'll talk about that in a second. But so that is why supposedly we're getting 0 allocations, is that they've already given us all of our allocations for this year. So other dealers haven't been given all their allocations, and so we're giving you a fair chance. I joke. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so and to speak of that, looks like they are saying that the third shift is not up and running for July production, and that they're just ramping up on it. So they're saying basically what they're able to do is increase the hybrid mix by adding the third shift right now, but not necessarily producing any more Mavericks yet. I guess the assumption is that maybe the third shift will be up and running by 24 model year production, so they can see more production in 24 by having a third shift 100% ready, up and running for that. So anyway, so there you go. So the news is true. So yeah, I was going to talk a little bit more about how we decided to take our orders and everything, but I think I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk about it. So just because there are some people out there that had an opinion on how we took orders when we probably shouldn't have and such. But if you watched the live streams back then in September of last year, go back to some of them. We actually talked about what happened back then. So we'll just let you go back and figure that out. But yeah, we did what we felt was right for our customers and for our dealership, and based on what we sold the year before. So keep in mind, we did 22 model year Maverick. We sold 450 Mavericks for 22 model year. So just to let
and you
people
don't
know
want to undertake or take that many, because what if there's constraints and those can't be built whatsoever, like we've seen with Bronco, and we have seen with the Maverick that they're skipping over orders. You want all of your allocations to be able to be filled, and so you overtake on orders so that way you can have all of your allocations filled.
Yep. And like we'll do with these, like we did last year for those that went unscheduled on 22, is they were given priority when that 23 order went in. Some people had said too, is like I know Granger didn't take any orders because they wanted to make sure that the people that had last year got fulfilled first. Well, that was real easy. I mean, all we had to do was make those priorities, and all of ours that got carried over, they were scheduled first.
Yes.
And then we were able to still schedule new orders for people that wanted to order. So we actually, whereas, I don't have no idea how Granger's doing with their allocations and their orders, but they may get to the end of the model year where they're going to basically probably get more allocations than what they needed orders for, because they gave you the allocations for the leftover orders that you had unscheduled, plus what you earn for this model year. So they'll probably have allocations not used and not benefit from that because they didn't take orders. So anyway, so I digress. So there you go. So maybe I did talk about it a little bit, but all right. So moving on to what's on my mind. So as you can tell from the title, we're going to talk a little bit about how does Ford's allocation system work. We'll talk about that, as well as how it can affect your order, because if you have an order with the dealer, well, we'll talk about it here. Let's just dive into it. So, and we're going to actually first talk about how.
Real quick, questions. We didn't go over it. If you have a question, drop it in the chat. I will make sure to star it, and we will answer them all at the same time.
Yeah, we'll answer those as soon as I get done with this. Talk about allocation. So yes, great point. All right. So first, I want to talk about how the allocation system used to be, the traditional one, and then what happened in 22 model year because of COVID and such, and then what's happening in 23, and then how it's different with some models. So in 2021, before model year, Ford basically gave you allocations based on your sales volume. So that's how you earned them, based on how you sell within your region. So what is the percentage that you get? So a certain number came from, hey, how, like for F-150, however we rank within our region, it kind of based it off of that percentage. And then also some other numbers. So it was basically your sales velocity formula. Well, in 2022 model year, because of production issues and everything, they basically told dealers, hey, if you want to get a vehicle built, it needs to be a customer's order, because we're going to build those first. So basically in 2022 model year, if you received an order, you had a COVP verified order, confirmed order, then you got an allocation for that order. So in 2022 on the Maverick is a great situation where we put in 500, 570 orders or something like that. It was 570 orders we put in, right? We end up earning we earned 450 allocations that year. And then we also earned the other 120 that they gave us for this year to cover those orders. So in 22 model year, you got an allocation for a certified, verified order. Come 23, in the summer of 22, they told Ford dealers, going into 23 model year, we are not doing it based on the COVP. COVP is going away, which it didn't go away. We'll get into that. And what you're going to do is it's going to be based again, like it was traditionally, based on your sales volume. So it's going to be a rolling 12-month. I actually have, I'm not going to show the sheet, but I want to use it as a reference to look at. So basically, your rolling 12-month sales share of the region was a 40% of the formula of how many allocations you get, and then availability share of the region is 40%. So basically, it took those formulas together to give you your allocations within that region. So the better you sell within your region of a certain model, the more of those allocations you get per that model. So we do really well in F-150 sales, Super Duty sales, and because of that, we always get a lot of F-150 and Super Duty allocations based on other dealers within our region. And so 23, they said that's what's going to happen on all models. This is the formula they're going forward for 23 model year. I want to make note of that. They said that in the summer before any orders for 2023 could be taken. Now, that formula is being used on about every model, with the exception of one.
2 words, Ford math.
Yeah, Ford math. The difference is on the Maverick. So they decided on the Maverick, and I have a theory on that maybe I will hold off for my members. That, in fact, I probably already talked about it with my members. So on the Maverick, the formula was different. They were basing it on a market basket mix instead. So instead of based on Maverick sales, even though they had about 9 months of sales history or more, because they didn't have a full year, I guess, of sales history, they based it differently. 28% of the allocations given is based on your escape sales, 28% on your historic Ranger sales, 14% on your historic Bronco Sport sales, and 30% on your historic Maverick sales. So that was the mix on that. Now, since only 30% is given on that, and we maybe don't do as well on the Ranger and the Escape, our number was a little bit lower than it was from the year before when it was based on orders. And so that's what happened for us and probably some dealerships. So here in this situation, this is where other dealerships that maybe in 22 did not take Maverick orders, they actually are benefiting from it for this year because they sell a lot of Escapes. So they're in a metro area, they're in a big city area, but they probably sell a lot of Escapes and a lot of Rangers. So they're actually would be benefiting from this. So that
they went after our truck numbers, we would get a higher allocation number
if they base it on that. So anyway, so that's how the Maverick is different than the others. Also, certain specialty vehicles are allocated differently as well. So like for instance, the F-150 Raptor allocation is based on your F-150 sales and your Raptor sales because Raptor's been around so much longer. They have a lot of history there. So it's based on those two combinations. When they released Bronco Raptor, for the Bronco Raptor allocations, it was based on your Bronco sales and your F-150 Raptor sales. So
Mhm.
that's where we actually benefited from on the Bronco Raptor, was that we had a lot of Raptor sales because we are a major Raptor dealer. In fact, we're right now currently in the top 50 in the country for Raptor sales, for F-150 Raptor sales. And maybe it's all Raptor sales. Anyway, and I think it's F-150. Anyway, because of that. So we don't know what they're going to do for Ranger. They haven't told us yet. But we don't know what that formula is going to be. We assume it's going to be a mixture of Ranger and hopefully F-150 and Bronco Raptors. If that's the case, then we'll get a good number of Ranger Raptors, but it really just depends. We don't know what that is. But anyway, so that's the way that works. And by the way, this formula for the Maverick, that formula was not, I'm not going to show the page. That formula was not given to dealers until after the order banks closed.
Yeah.
After the order banks are closed.
Along with the allocation number.
Yep. So there you go. Now, how does this affect you? How does the allocations affect you? So if you have an order in with a dealer, your order is not going to be looked at for scheduling unless a dealership has an allocation. So if you have a Maverick order in with us, your order can't be looked at. That basically has an NSP on the order bank unless we have an allocation. Since we're getting 0 allocations this month, anybody that has an unscheduled order with us is not going to get scheduled this month. So I guess this is a month to go enjoy the summer, go to the lake, go do your fun, go on vacation, because you don't need to worry about looking at your email to see if your Maverick gets scheduled with us. Anyway, so
Quick question. What percent by which way the wind is blowing and which ones for the moon phases and volcano activity?
Anyway, so yes, so that's how it affects you is, and that's why a lot of people, we did see last year, a lot of people put in multiple orders at multiple dealerships. So what they did is they said, hey, I don't know what my local small town dealership, they may only get 1 or 2 Maverick allocations, and it may not be until the second half of the year.
And those smaller dealers usually aren't disclosing their allocation numbers, so they just want to make sure that they're going to get a Maverick.
So, and I mean, there are some people, I know I mentioned, and I am watching the thread on Maverick Truck Club that's going on. I'm looking at that. I've been commenting just because, I need to keep good relations with Ford and everything. And the allocation system works really well.
Yeah.
When it's, in my opinion, when it's built well. So here's typically, Ford has this group of dealers called the 20 group or something like that. They are dealer council, that's what it's called. And they have these dealers, and they're typically dealers at the higher volume dealerships in the country. But they try to get them from different regions and such. Of course, we're not one of those dealers. And so those dealers are the ones that Ford listens to. Hey, we want your feedback on this and this and this. Well, those dealerships went to Ford saying, wait a minute, we don't think this formula is right. We don't think it should be based on Maverick because we couldn't even order a Maverick last year. Baloney, you could. You just were sleeping at the beginning. I said I wasn't going to say that, but anyway, I did anyway. But there are some of those dealerships that didn't even realize the Maverick was available, and some of them didn't realize. A lot of them saw the markup. So if you're selling an F-150, you can make a pretty good penny on selling an F-150 in MSRP. Mm-hmm. Why do we have F-150s at $9,000 off? It's not all rebates, folks. There's some markup on those. Mm-hmm. The Maverick average markup is about $500, maybe $700, mm-hmm. right? Lower margin. A lot of dealers didn't worry about those. They're like, you know what? Those are like escape. We're not going to worry about them. We're probably not going to take a lot of. We're not going to take a lot of orders. There's not much markup. But what happened? Customers weren't taking their Maverick, and then they were getting marked up $5-10,000 over MSRP. Now those dealerships, now I want a Maverick because then now I can make my $5 or $10,000 mm-hmm. on a customer.
Yeah.
We saw that happening. Not saying that's not happening, but that's just
not saying that those top 20 opinion. Dealers are doing that.
No. Not saying that at all. But
just, that's what we've been seeing from some other dealers.
They didn't feel like they were getting enough allocations because they didn't put in orders in 22. And so they didn't want it to be based off 22's numbers because they didn't put the orders in. So, and there were a lot of dealers that said, hey, customers aren't going to buy a vehicle that they can't see. But we proved that to be wrong because we sold a lot of vehicles and became a pretty prominent dealer in sales in the KC region because we had customers that would do that.
Yeah. I wasn't even in his assistant when the Maverick came out. I was in our call center, wasn't paying attention to the Maverick. He was going on and on about the Maverick, and I was half listening, like I do half the time. So I was half listening. I barely knew anything about the Maverick, but I was like, you know what? We could afford this. Let's do it. And I ordered it. One day I was just like, okay, I'm doing it. Less than a year later, I had one, but then I found out everything about it and how much of a cool vehicle it is. But I took a leap on a vehicle that I didn't see because I was like, oh, I can afford this. It's a truck that I can afford, and it actually looks pretty cute based off the pictures.
Yep. So I'm hearing some people are like, hey, you know what? This is kind of a fiasco. There's so many orders, they can't build them all and such. Where I'm going to go on over to another one or whatever. Santa Cruz is your only option, folks. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to go to the Toyota's going to come up with theirs or this and that, but they're not making those yet. I mean, Maverick is it, and there's a lot of demand on it because it's a great vehicle at a great price, and it's the only little hybrid truck you can get. That gets good fuel economy. The F-150 3.5 liter hybrid doesn't get the fuel economy like the Maverick does because it's just built differently. But there you go. Anyway, so there's a little bit about allocations, how it works. Hopefully, ask me your question if you have any questions. Let's just pop those in. Start our Q&A section, and if you have any questions on that I can try to help, I can. So
I had a comment about how can you take a package called Pony seriously? Night Pony. That doesn't sound tough.
Oh.
So they were coming up with different names. The Stallion package, the Mare package.
The Night Pony came out because there was a vote. So Ford said they were going to change the name of their Black Appearance package.
Okay.
And so they had people put out and tell people what they thought it should be called. And so they went after names, and that was the one that won.
Okay, so I actually had said maybe Nightmare or whatever didn't test well. So yeah, I was probably right. Night Pony tested the best. Okay.
I don't know. I know it was a social media deal where you could vote for the name you wanted or whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Can you still change the color? My Maverick is scheduled to be built in July.
As long as it hasn't been scheduled to the day, you can change the color. Yep.
Yeah. Ryan says, hey, Tim, do you know anything about the new Project T3 electric truck?
Only what Ford announced when they were talking about the plant and how it was going there in Tennessee. They talked about the T3. So it sounds like to me it's another electric truck. It's going to be, I think it's going to be different. They're calling it the next gen electric truck. I don't think it's going to be the same size as the F-150 Lightning. I believe it's going to be smaller, but it's hard to tell. They don't have any information out on it yet.
All right. When do F-150s normally go to the next model year? I think you already answered that one.
Typically, it's in the summer. Last year, it was July, but we haven't heard any information on it yet.
Okay. Are allocations trim specific? Example, Bronco. Does the dealership have an allocation for a 2-door and wild track in order for you, or for your 2-door wild track order to be looked at?
So they give us our allocations on all of them. So they don't say. So what Ford did for Bronco was they said, here is your allocation number. Like for us, I think it was 26 in March. Here's your number. Based on the capacity, you should be able to look at that number and go, okay, if 2-door capacity is 10% of your 26, you should be able to get 2.6. Right? That's basically what they said. But no, they don't give us that number. So for us, it was 26, and we've already gotten 3 2-doors scheduled. So a lot also matters in your region, right? So I look in like our region. I believe our region actually is getting less 2-door orders, I think, in our region, and that's why we're getting more of the 2-doors than maybe other dealers. So
yep. All right. Jim says, any updates on delivered Lightning's deleted heated steering wheel?
Yeah, that's been a constraint. You should watch the video I did on what you're not going to get on your F-150 Lightning. And heated steering wheel was one of them. But one of them. It was a heated steering wheel. There was something. There was a heated feature that actually came back. So some of the ones that, so yeah, this has actually been a thing since last fall. So they removed the heated steering wheel. I believe it was September, October of last fall, and so a lot of them that were being built in December, January were being built without the heated steering wheel. It would, if you look on your window sticker, it was on there. You look at your order sheet, it was on there. But in February, they brought it back. So anything built after February on the Lightning should have the heated steering wheel if it's a lariat trim. So
Okay. All right. WJ says, I am hoping to get my 23 F450 Limited by September 15th. If not, I would rather get my 2024.
Well, we know that Super D production is going into October, depending on the plant. So,
all right. Ragnar says, I thought the new Escape had Sync 4 now.
Yes, it does.
Okay. He was surprised by the allocation number. How many heritage, or sorry, not allocation number, how many total orders are in the order bank for Escape?
Not that many. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
like
that
14.
many. Yeah, it's pretty low.
Okay.
What's it? How many Heritage Limited Bronco Sports are they building for 20? 1,966. Right? I think it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's 1966 between the 2 years. Actually, Ragnar could probably tell me. It's the same for Bronco as Bronco Sport. I don't know if it's 1966 for the 2 years or that many for each year, because I tried looking for that and I couldn't quite find that. But Ragnar probably can help answer that question. But
okay. Truth question. My dealer, when asked about, that was about the lower priority code to roll over for 24, was told that the priority code is not set by the dealer.
It is.
Right, it is. And then we said that the lower priority codes usually were set by Ford, but now it looks like they're opening it up.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows too, if you do not get scheduled in one model year, no orders are being rolled over anymore. So you basically are reordering for 24. The hope is that your dealership sees that you have a 23 order and gives you a higher priority than somebody that's coming in that didn't have a previous model year order. So,
okay. I ordered a Heritage Bronco with your dealership. What will happen if they can't build or delay and then cancel for 24? I would have to reorder again and hope it's built.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think the Heritage Edition is going to be going. I mean, we know that it's going to be made in 24, but I don't believe it's going away after 24 either. I think it's something they're going to continue to do after this, because there was a press conference they did, and they showed actually a couple different Broncos and saying they're going to bring some others, and Everglades was in there. Heritage Edition was in there. And so I believe we're still going to see that Heritage Edition being continued, maybe even after 24. So, but yes, if you really want one bad enough, you'll probably go 4-door, because, like I said, the note in here was the 2-door Heritage Editions were being delayed. They didn't mention the 4-door Heritage Editions. So,
all right. I was going through the questions, making sure. When will 24 Raptor R allocations and scheduling occur?
Well, we don't. We're still working on 23, so we still have 23 allocations going. So, don't know. So, I guess once we get through 23 model year, then they'll start worrying about 24. But there's still 23 model year Raptor Rs that are going to be allocated and scheduled probably. In fact, I think they said they're going to be back up and running soon on Raptor Rs. So, anyway, all right, let me go back up. All right. All right. What is limited availability on Super D Limited? That means that they probably won't be able to go with their normal production numbers. So if they're scheduling it at 5%, they're going to be limited to a lower number. So, yeah. So it's just going to be a smaller amount that can be scheduled. So, all right. Francis said, sir, I noticed last week there were no comments next to my order, clean, etc. Does that does that mean anything? No, not. So he's talking about our all of our members that have orders with us. We actually go through and kind of look at those. No, that doesn't. Yours, we just didn't carry that down. So that doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Yours is a clean order, so don't need to worry about that. Good question though. All right, Mike. Mackenzie says, is the 23 Maverick still price protected, and do you still honor the $1,000 delivery fee? So 23 Maverick is still price protected. So yes, if you get a 23 scheduled, yes. If it carries over to 24, for price protection is not actually a dealer incentive. That is Ford's incentive. Ford is saying they're not going to do price protection if you do not get scheduled. Now, I do want to see what they end up doing on that, because since they didn't tell dealers what their number was before the order banks opened and closed, I'm wondering what they'll do. So that is something that we still don't know. Now for us, yes, that $1,000 delivery, if you finance with us, we'll pay for the first $1,000 of shipping. That's actually something I've been doing for about 5 years now. That's a YouTube special I've been doing for a long time. That's not going to go anywhere. But price protection, we won't be able to. If the price goes up in 24, like if you can't get scheduled in 23, we know there's a $500 price increase. If that continues and there's no other price increase, then it probably will be $500 more. So, but again, that's a Ford thing. We won't be able to do any better than that. So, all right.
All right. Your best guess when the 2.7 for the Ranger might be open?
They said fourth quarter. So we'll have to see. I don't know if I don't think they're considering a job 2, just a late availability. So hopefully they said fourth quarter. So
okay.
So I'd assume November, December.
All right. How many Ranger Raptor pre-orders do you have?
We have a bunch, but nobody, because we don't know our number. We had only one that we know we're getting, and so that first person is getting that one. So because we don't know later, there's no reason to kind of reach out and talk to those people until we actually know our other number and get our extras, because at that point, we don't know. So because basically, like Ranger Raptors, you put them in as a stock order. So, the region will tell us, hey, you have a Ranger Raptor allocation this week. Which order number do you want to use? So then at that point is when we reach out to the customer and say, how do you want it configured? Great. We put the order in as a stock order. Here's a stock number. We give that number to the region, and that's how it's allocated or scheduled. So that's how that works. So we do have at least 10, I think. So we'll see how many allocations we're going to get. So we know that every dealer is getting one for this calendar year. And they said in fourth quarters, when they're going to let us know the formula for more Ranger Raptor allocations, they just want to make sure every dealership gets one first. So the first 3,200 that are being built, one for each dealer. Then after that, dealers based on their formula will get more. Assuming, I don't know what the formula is yet, so we'll find that out. So they're going to let us know what that is, supposedly fourth quarter.
Okay. Snip says, is there a possibility they could cancel your Maverick if you have had a schedule week?
Now, if you've been scheduled, no. Like I said, Ford will not. Well, they did last year.
They did last year, but I don't think they're going to do that again.
Pretty uncommon. Last year was because of a constraint issue with the motor. Now they're ramping up production. I don't see that happening again. It happened with several models last year, but again, that was more of a COVID thing. But typically, if you got a VIN number, you're going to get built. So, especially right now, I know that you have one scheduled. Your scheduled build week, I think, is probably in July. Okay. So I don't think you need to worry.
Would Ranger and Bronco being on the same production delay the Bronco builds?
Well, for every one Ranger they build, that's one less Bronco they build. So technically, yeah, I guess you could say that. But they know their numbers of what they can do. We've seen how many retail orders there are for Rangers, so it shouldn't affect the Bronco that much. So
okay. Clarence Roller says, what's with the subscription for Blue Cruise? What's the difference between the ACC? What do you get with subscription?
Great question. A couple weeks ago, we covered, hey, Blue Cruise or not to Blue Cruise? That's the question. You might watch that, but basically your Blue Cruise is your hands-free driving. It basically takes the adaptive cruise control with the lane centering to the next level in a sense of instead of having to have your hands on the steering wheel, you can actually take your hands off, and the Blue Cruise takes over. I will say the new updated 1.2 Blue Cruise is cool because it actually will reposition you in your lane, and also just by putting your turn signal allow you to change lanes. I actually have a vehicle with all three different cruise. I have one with a traditional cruise with no adaptive cruise in the Bronco. I have an Expedition with adaptive cruise with lane centering, and I have the Lightning that has Blue Cruise. And I'll tell you that I'd almost rather have the adaptive cruise because with this, with adaptive cruise, technically on the Blue Cruise, if you look off the road for more than 5 seconds, it's going to alert you and let you know you're not looking at the road. Adaptive Cruise doesn't have those sensors, so you get 15 seconds. So, so I've timed it so you could actually have the adaptive cruise go and let go of the steering wheel for about 15 seconds before it tells you to take control. And then all you got to do is bump the steering wheel a little bit and you can do the same thing. In my opinion, it works just as well. So I wouldn't pay the extra $800 a year for that. Ford needs to reevaluate that because I think more people are going to not get it. In fact, I heard a lot of people canceled their Mach-E order because they started charging for Job 2. So they put in the order for the Job 2, found that out, and they canceled them. So, yeah,
like
definitely.
What was it that they did, and then people started canceling? I don't know. There's another one where people kept canceling.
So, a lot of people when their F-150s are coming in, the reason we have King Ranch and Platinums on our lot right now is because people are upset that they didn't get the Max recline seat.
All right. Based on the remaining Maverick order bank in the 50/50 hybrid ICE capacity, do you think gas engine Mavericks will be stock orders late 2023?
Not for us. Not for us. But I do wonder with that formula that they have, there's going to be dealerships that didn't maybe have orders like we did for Maverick, but they're going to earn them because of their Escape, Ranger, and Bronco Sport sales. They're going to have Maverick allocation and not have retail Maverick orders, and then we're going to see some stock EcoBoost out there. I think that's a possibility. But here's what I'm seeing, though, for us with gas orders, we see more of our customers that don't take the gas ones versus the hybrid. About everybody that gets a hybrid takes it. When we get a gas one available, it seems to not sell unless it's $2,500 over MSRP or lower. And sometimes it takes, and usually if it sells, it doesn't mean it's sold at $2,500 because there's a thing called negotiation, right? You can negotiate with the dealer. There's a lot of times that it may take, almost MSRP to get that price down for you to take it. So I'm seeing that EcoBoost price coming down. So even if they do get stock, it's going to you're probably going to be closer to MSRP before they get it to sell. Some dealers, and that's where I think we're going to have an advantage over other dealers. So we do things a little differently. I don't need to tell you the pricing. My members know when I talk about the lot walk and such, our pricing and how we do things. So I won't put that on here, but we have a way of making sure that our vehicles don't last past the 20th of the month. So we want to make sure that we have, especially when it comes to Maverick, we know that having a vehicle that hasn't been delivered, that's considered inventory. So even if it came in for somebody else, but they haven't finished paperwork and it's not sold to Ford, then that means that we have an inventory for that vehicle if it's here and it's not paperwork hasn't been done. So that's considered inventory. So for every allocation we earn, for every one we have, they take that number away. So if they say, hey, you earned 20 allocations, but you have 10 sitting on your lot that haven't been delivered, we're giving you 10 allocations. So you actually lose them for that. So for us, for Maverick, it's very important that we sell those by the 20th of every month and have those sold so that we can be at zero so that we get our 100% of our allocations that we've earned. So anyway, so there you go.
All right. Any idea on when we might see the gooseneck fifth wheel bliss become available as an accessory?
I don't. They talked about that because they originally that was going to be a late availability item, and then they just took that away for that. So I don't know. They said it was going to be available through accessories, but I don't know when.
Okay. Says, can you remind us what day of the week you find out when your order is chosen for scheduling? It is Thursday.
Thursday. Yep.
Charlie T says that my Escape plug-in hybrid was built April 23rd, but the VIN isn't affected by the recall. When can I expect shipment? That would depend on where you are, what area you're in.
Built the 23rd. I mean, it just depends on when it ends up shipping out. So I always tell people until I see it's on a rail car, I can't say anything. But usually once it's on a rail car, 4 weeks or less. But sometimes it could sit there for a week or two, sometimes longer. I mean, Broncos have been sitting for almost a couple of months before they got shipped out after production. So it's hard to tell.
All right, and Mahathi says Toyota Stout is still a rumor. If it comes to reality, it will take months to build and get. Some Toyota hybrids take months to get, just like Maverick.
Yeah. So I had somebody that reached out to me about that and said, maybe I need to be looking at Toyota Stout. I'm like, you can't. We want to sell a vehicle as bad as you want to buy it. Let's just say this. We don't make any money until we actually deliver a vehicle. So we want as many as we can be delivered. So threatening to go to another model that's not even existent really isn't much of a threat, because that, Mike's saying right there is that, got to remember what Maverick was at the launch. If they do have
a hypothesis.
Yes. I mean, if they do have a hybrid version that first year, I mean, even once it's revealed, you're probably looking another 6 months before you can actually order them. Maybe sooner if they do it like Ford did, where they released it, revealed it, and then took orders right away. Maybe, but that was revealed in June, and then they didn't start making them until September of that year. They didn't start taking delivery until December, so you're talking 6 months. So,
well, and we saw with which brand is it that has the Bolt?
The Chevy?
The Chevy Bolt. Well, isn't their EV truck? Aren't they still just taking reservations?
Oh, Chevy? Yeah, they're not even. I mean, yeah, they're not ready. I think they're supposed to be producing this fall.
And you could be seeing that.
Yeah.
With this one, they could just be taking reservations, or it might take a year or two, kind of like the Bronco or the Lightning when they first came out. So.
When I saw that Ram, they got a Ram Rampage or something, and I think they're going to make that. That's supposed to be competitor, but I don't know if it's going to be hybrid. But they're making it in South America first, and they're rumored that it might come to the U.S. But again, it's just a rumor at this point. So we'll just have to see.
The Ram Rampage. All right. Our allocations trim. Oh, we went over that one.
Oh yeah.
Just wondering, can you use Ford Pass app to find the Maverick? You can. Yep. In fact, I use it with my truck. Even someone said that they used it the other day at the mall. They couldn't remember where they parked, so they pulled out the app.
So the way that works is when you shut the vehicle off, that's where it tracks that location.
Yep.
So you can't do it while it's driving.
Yes, you can.
And it won't pinpoint it while you're driving.
Yeah, it will. I pinpoint my truck.
Not when it's off. Like if it's off on a car carrier, I guess that's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. If it's off on a car carrier,
then the last place it was off is when it triggered that spot.
Right. But if you are driving it, so if it's being moved not by of its own power and being pulled or towed by something, the last time it was off is the last time it's going to pinpoint. But if you're driving, it will pinpoint.
Yeah.
I was curious about that, so I pulled out my app and I stuck it in my stand and I refreshed at every stoplight.
Okay.
And it works.
There you go.
All right. What is the mile per gallon on 24 Ranger? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Off the top of my head.
Not off the top of his head. Okay. Top Secret Vid says, can the factory Ford tow package be added to the Bronco at the dealership, or does that need to be added at the factory?
Okay, so on the Bronco, you can add the hitch and wiring later. It'll be cheaper if you do it from the factory, and right now that's not a constraint. So, in fact, I'm thinking of adding the hitch to mine.
All right. I ordered the 23 Maverick Hybrid XLT with Lux and Copilot 360. I was given a priority code of 19. Do you think I have a chance? P.S. My dealer will not tell me how many allocations they have.
Of course. And I'm not going to tell you guys how many Maverick allocations we have. It's a round number, though. All right. All right. Well, first of all, priority 19 is the very end. So I would ask them if they have any other orders that are lower priority than 19 and why yours isn't lower. There might be a good reason. We have a reason why ours are prioritized where they're at, and they may have a good reason. So I would just ask them about that.
Yep.
But other than that, it's possible for me to tell without looking at their orders. Even if I can look at their orders like I can mine, I can't guarantee anything because.
Yeah.
All right.
How long order from F-250 from start to finish production to delivery? Hard to tell.
Oh, production to delivery, usually about 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, again, once it gets on a rail car, then you can get more information on that because it's hard to tell when things can. Sometimes they can sit in the shipping yard. I mean, Ford can say it's been released from the plant, but that doesn't mean it's been shipped out. So.
Yeah, and sometimes production to delivery, production to end of production or release takes less than a week, and sometimes it can be longer than a week. It depends if a code is flagged or if something else is going on with it or it needs this or that. There's a lot that goes into it. So production to delivery is a variable number that could be anywhere. All right. Why doesn't Ford implement first in, first out for Ford allocations when it comes to Maverick and Bronco? Stellantis does that and shuts down options daily as they run out of certain options.
And then when you do that, even though you could make more vehicles and build more vehicles, instead you've shut down your plant. So Ford's does things differently because if they had more configurations, and especially if there's orders out there, maybe they're behind them, they could actually build more vehicles. So they're more about getting more vehicles into more driveways and getting more sales so they can win awards, right? But also make people happy. So, if like on, for instance, like we talked about earlier, it's not always a supply issue, but a time issue. So if they say, well, you know what, if we have, let's limit how many of these equipment we do because it takes us an extra, that vehicle might sit in this person's bay because they have to put all these 10 things on, but that next one they only have to put 5 of them on. Well, if they're running behind, then they need some orders that don't take as long to put them together, and then they can build more vehicles in a given day. So yes, there are some that if you're first in and some of those depends on their builds, they can do that. So Mach-E, look how simple Mach-E is. Mach-E, if you have a certain trim, it is very simple. Yours only like one package you can get, period. And then you just move on. So there's not a lot of options and a lot of ways to delay it. So in those situations, it can be first in and first out. But in a situation where it's a Maverick and people want to customize their truck and I want this package, I want that package, I want this package, if they can only build so many because of how long it takes or the supply, one or the other, they can actually build more vehicles if they take orders that maybe
based off of their
configuration
or based off of how many parts they have available for that next month. So they probably take stock, like for, let's see, scheduling for July is happening now in June. Or no, scheduling for August is happening now in June. So what they did is last month, they went through their inventory as it was coming in. They did inventory. They made sure what parts do we have. Then as they are scheduling in June for August, they're going, okay, so we have this many hybrid shells or this many hybrid batteries. We have this many EcoBoost motors and whatnot. This is how many we can build. Let's build based off of that, how many parts we have instead of first in, first out.
Well, and also it depends on what their vendors are telling them they're going to have. So that's the thing is that if they have a vendor that says, I can promise you 1,000, remotes or whatever for that month, they're promising that the production of that. And so if that slips behind, that's where your builds get pushed back. It's because that supplier did not do what they promised.
Yeah, they promised and they couldn't fulfill it.
Yeah. So they're assembly plants. Don't forget that.
They are not building, they are assembling.
But the reason they don't do first in and first out is because they can make more vehicles if they don't do it that
way. Not being in the market for a car or truck for a few years, when did it become so complicated to buy a car or truck? Really not so much fun anymore.
If you wanted a custom order, it's kind of always been this way. Well, I mean, the thing of it is there's more people doing custom orders now than they know they can. So this has been the case for years. I mean, my father has been custom ordering his F-150 for the last 3 or 4 of these going back. And it used to be he put his order in. I'd say, okay, we'll get it in 8 weeks. And you knew, hey, he could get it in a couple months because it'll get scheduled in the next week or two, and then. And F-150 is different because they only schedule out a week or a month. I mean,
Yeah.
so hey, I put his order in. If I put it in on a Tuesday, I can maybe get it scheduled that Thursday for production if we didn't have any other retail
You can
orders.
still do some
And
that.
then they get billed a month later, and then they get so that way 8 weeks. I could say 8 weeks, and it was here.
You can still do that with some of the models.
Yeah.
But
we had some people on an Explorer. I told a salesperson, they said they're interested in Explorer. I says, I guarantee that I put that order in today, it'll probably get scheduled this week because we have an allocation and we don't have any retail orders. So if they put that order in today, I can guarantee it probably get scheduled on Thursday. And then Thursday it's scheduled. He goes, wow, that's quick. Yeah. And so it just depends on the model. Popular models, it's different, and then so yeah, so I think more people, because of how they said, hey, if you put in a retail order, then you'll get it, or I mean that's the only way for it to get built, because we're going to focus in on these customer ones first. When they ramped up production, or they actually brought production down, that's when more people realized, if I want to get a vehicle, I'm not going to be able to go to a dealer lot to find one. I need to order one. So now that people know they can custom order, now we're seeing more people wanting to do it that way.
Because I mean, why not have a custom vehicle that you built to your specifications? It has everything you want it to have or not have. Reiner Khan said that he always wants a manual, so he's always ordered.
Yeah.
That's the it thing right now is custom. What can I have that's custom? Custom house, people are building houses. Custom cars. We can now order cars.
Yeah.
Specifically for it.
Yep.
All right. Any idea how many Maverick orders were deleted?
Well, we know that they're 4,700 and Party 99. Those are the ones that are supposed to be deleted, but they haven't been yet. And I wouldn't cross my fingers it's going to happen right away. What they did is they took everyone that wasn't COVP'd and put it in the Party 99. So then that way, hey, if there was an order that customer didn't want because they didn't COVP it, we don't want it to get scheduled. We'd rather have customers that we know want it, that are COVP and filled out the paperwork. We would rather have those get scheduled. So they just wanted to move them to Party 99. They may not cancel the order. It's hard to tell. I mean, there's still Bronco orders in Party 99 that they said they were going to cancel, and they haven't.
Yeah.
So I mean, they may never cancel them, but that puts them in a different priority, so that they can see through the cloud and the clutter of who really wants one.
Yeah. Did they do that for Bronco?
They did. And what was it? Actually, they gave dealers 3 different time frames of dates that says you need to COVP your Bronco orders.
Yeah.
So first one was on those when we carried over to the 23, you needed to you need to COVP these. You had till I think it was like November or December, and then they warned them again, hey, we need those COVP'd by January something, and then again before they started taking orders in March, you need to have these COVP'd. If they're not, they're going to be canceled. And then those were put in at that time. That's when they were put in the Party 99.
Okay.
But they're still there. So
yeah.
They didn't cancel.
Okay. Eden says, what finance options are available on the Maverick? There are no special options right now. And terms and percentages are like your
whatever standard rate.
Yeah, whatever the standard rate is.
And or go through another lender.
We can't really give you a standard rate. That's based off of your credit, and we don't usually do that until the vehicle is here and we're doing paperwork.
Yeah.
Because it can change.
Most people are going through their credit unions and such because they're lower than what Ford does, because Ford doesn't have any special rates on the Maverick. Well, why do they need to? I mean, it's the hottest vehicle out there, and it's cheap, so they don't need to do that. So,
all right. Last question. If you have any more questions, pop them into the chat and we'll get those answered. Is there another way to track your build other than via Ford's official tracking system?
Ask your dealer to look it up. the dealer can see where it's at. Using VinView, you can see exactly where it's at on the rail. We had a customer, a local customer on a Bronco, said, "Hey, I got the email that mine's been shipped out. It's and such." And I said, "Well, let's look at it." And we looked at it, and I said, at the time, I says, "Well, it's in Indiana right now on the train, so we could actually pinpoint all the spots it had been." I says, "Well, it's in Indiana right now, so I assume it's going to be in Kansas City in the next day or two." And then today I looked it up and it's in Kansas City, but off the rail, it's in Kansas City. So your dealer can actually pinpoint every location now with VinView, which is really cool.
But I can tell you, even our system that we use can be a little off because I use the new system that Ford said to do one of our members, and it said it was here. It's delivered. It's on our lot on Friday. I was like, okay, great. So we updated them. Well, then on Monday, they're like, where's my vehicle? I want my vehicle. Well, we can't find it. We don't have the keys. Go to a different the older tracking system says it's in Kansas City. So
yeah, it wasn't here yet. So sometimes it's off. We had one where one time it actually said it was on the rail, and then I looked it up like the next week, and it said it was still on. Then it said it was back at Hermosillo, and I'm like, no, it's not. We saw it on the tracker. So there you go. Johnny, what's up, Johnny?
All right. What do you think of people putting in multiple orders or trading in their order, not giving a chance to those who got one?
Well, there's no such thing as trading in your order. So because giving your order to somebody else, they still have to pay whatever it was, and the dealer can still price it up. Dealer can do whatever they want. If you ordered it and you buy it, then you're price protected because you have to be the one that buys it. We even had one of our members where he ordered it for his wife, and then she bought it. He wasn't on it, and we had to do that one wasn't even price protected. We're going to have to do an exception when it comes in that yes, they're married, but we won't be able to do that until we get a not approved 45 to 60 days later when they don't give us the money. And then we're going to have to go through that all over. We'll have to do that exception for them. But like in that case, you can't just say, hey, I want to give my order to this person. It's up to the dealership. If they want to and they're nice, they'll do that. I'm doing it for a member. Otherwise you can't. But the multiple orders, with what's happening with us, I see a reason for it. So, all right, Sarah, can you tell us how many priority 10 unscheduled Maverick orders you have now?
I wasn't sure if you wanted to answer that one.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Or if you could.
I think it's around, I don't know. I want to say around 15, but I don't know for sure. Anyway.
All right. If I use my Ford Pass points to purchase my Maverick, Ford Pass Visa to purchase my Maverick, can I use those points to buy an ESP plan?
Don't know how quickly you get those points. So when you use your Visa, you don't always get those points right away.
It usually takes about a month for points to appear.
To accumulate and appear. So it's usually, so I don't think you get them right away.
And when you purchase a vehicle and you're supposed to get that 4,200, that can take up to 2 or 3, or you may even have to call Ford customer service and be like, hey, they didn't show up.
Yeah.
I've had to do that with my past 3 vehicles that I have purchased. I've had to call them and go, where's my Ford Pass points?
I don't know if you can use your points on an ESP. I know you use it for accessories, but I don't know about ESP.
Accessories and service. Okay. If a customer trades in an older model Bronco, can I have first dibs on it?
An older model Bronco? Like a 70 or what?
Talk to your salesman. They can always contact you if we get one in.
Yeah. By the way, we are getting 4 Bronco allocations this month. Originally, it was 0 on that one too. They're just loving us this month. Originally, it was 0, but we put in subsequent allocations for supplement allocations, and we were granted 4. So that means there are dealers out there that don't need allocations, or they didn't earn enough, and we actually got theirs. So,
all right.
Yay.
All right, Top Secret Vid says, when can I order a 2024 2-door manual SAS with tow package and cloth interior?
When 24 order bank opens up, we think. I was waiting for you to put in the 2.7 in there. I was going to say never. But, cloth interior, never. There you go. Because they are no longer doing cloth interior from what I understand. So, Yeah, so more than likely you won't be able to order that in 24. But we do know, or do we know? I'm not sure when they stop producing the Bronco. I think October. So we may see the order bank for the Bronco to open up maybe September. Typically, about 2 months before they stop building a model year is when they start opening up the order bank for the next year because they need to have the orders, have those in there so they can schedule ahead of time and that kind of thing. So there you go.
All right. If I do not remove my multi-contour seats for my Super Duty, will it most likely not get scheduled?
Most likely.
All right. I'm looking for more. Okay.
What are we talking about up here?
Is Max Recline still limited, Lariat trim?
Yeah. Max Recline? I don't even think it's available on the Lariat. Oh, you said limited? No, unlimited is not an option to take it off. So only King Ranch and Platinum, they're saying to take it off. If you have a limited, I think they're reserving the Max Recline seats to the limited trims.
All right.
But again, the limited trims is exhausted right now. So it is what it is.
All right. ML Culpepper says 2 hours 15 minutes so far. Almost a new record? Question mark.
No.
No, I think our longest was 2 hours and 45 minutes.
I know we've been on here past 9:30. So
pretty sure we were on here till 9:45 one time. Is that a duck behind him?
yes. Remember we got this?
I was going to bring mine to work with me.
See, so that way, if I don't like somebody's answer, I go. Somebody that's just like listening, they're going, "What the heck? What's going on?" I just heard a duck squeak. So yeah, there you go.
I was gonna bring mine with me, but Will decided that it's his.
So let's see who gave these. This is
He had
Antonio, right?
No.
Didn't he give these to us?
No,
I
it
thought he
was the
did.
one before him.
Oh, I
Because
thought it was
Antonio was higher up.
Oh, that's right.
I remember based off of where we were on the show field who gave it to us.
Yeah.
I know it was lowered. I know he had a couple of little things. He was on the younger side. But Antonio was higher up on the show field when we interviewed him. I can't remember. We'll have to go back and watch.
There you go. I gave a few dates tonight, and I think I'll probably get in trouble for them, but that's all right. I think as long as I don't give.
You didn't do that?
As long as I don't give when the order banks are supposed to open up. That's what they really don't like. They don't like me sharing when that's at. So they actually remove those from a lot of our sheets. All right. Anything else?
Horse duck? There's horse ducks? I kind of want one.
Well, the big thing on the Jeep is they put the little duck on the Jeep doors or whatever, or fenders or something. So now they're trying to come up with horses to put on Broncos.
Okay, so I saw something and I was like, this looks presumptuous. Jeeps, you have the ducks. They now on Etsy have this little thing that you take off your side mirror and you put this attachment in between the side mirror and your door, and it says put ducks here. I'm like, that seems presumptuous and overly like, give me ducks.
So production starting November 13th for 2024 Bronco. And so usually about 2 months before that. So we're probably looking September. Yeah. So there you go.
Guess we all need to bring 2 gag gift mascots when picking up our vehicles.
Yep. We're going to have a lot of people here this week. So we had, was it Joey that picked up his today?
Yes.
And Cedric going to be here soon. I think Stacy might be here soon. Yeah, we got a lot of people, a lot of members that are going to be here soon to pick up their
excited
Mavericks.
We are excited to see the members getting their vehicles.
Yep.
Probably start doing pictures. Oh, Paul will be here on Thursday. Oh man, Paul, that's the one day I won't be here. No, I'm here every Thursday. This week.
You saw that before I did. I'm late.
Oh yeah, because no. It takes a second for it to pop over from YouTube onto there.
Oh, so you're seeing it on YouTube. Okay.
Yes,
All
I
right.
have both open.
All right.
Because
I'll be here
when
Thursday.
I'm commenting back, I don't want to comment as Long McArthur, and when I'm commenting in here, I'm Long McArthur. So I open YouTube browser as well and keep that chat popped open so I can comment as Sarah.
All right. So for those of you that don't know, this is episode 96. So we got episode 100 coming up in 1 month. So we need something fun to do
Exciting.
for episode 100. Thought about inviting some people on. So
Maybe we should see if
I don't
Don
know.
Getting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, don't think so.
No? Okay.
We'll see.
Split personality at Sarah Davis. It's called ADHD.
All right. Anything else? All right.
Oh, that Mid Coast Maine says that's why we have unicorns, such a rare sight as a Maverick. I see so many Mavericks each day.
Joyce says, I am a tad upset with all the misinformation deliberately done for money. I get upset because hundreds of thousands of jobs are on the line and a lot of work then goes into cars. So I actually agree. So we actually talked about this today because the last video I did was maybe a little clickbaitish. Because I said I didn't even talk about that excursion package on the expedition, but I said excursion is back. And somebody did comment and says, "Oh, you don't need to go to clickbait and such." And just like with Johnny, I think Johnny delivers a lot of good information, and it's hard for like his channel, my channel, and some of the other ones that we support that are smaller channels that are good information that people, I think, man, the people, it'd be really nice if that video gets out to more people. And it's sometimes really difficult to get the good information out there. But you have other channels that do a lot of clickbait. Like I saw one this week about a $15,000 Maverick. And I'm like, and then you look at it, yep, that's that YouTube channel that does that. And then it already had like 10,000 views or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it's total clickbait and they're not giving good information. And it's frustrating because you have good channels like Johnny's and RagnarCons and all these others that, don't get as many views because we don't use clickbait typically. I did. We do. We're trying to also get our, we are trying to get our videos viewed, especially like we have these new packages we have that we're trying to build that, hey, for those looking for maybe a Raptor or something like that, then then it's we want the people to know it's out there. Like we made that super cab, LMXR package, and we're gonna actually put superchargers on those this week, a couple of them, I think, to be, hey, those that want a super cab Raptor, you can't get that anymore. Can't get a super cab Raptor. Well, here's our version that we can get as close as we can, and we want to get information out to people to let them know that we provide that. And so, even just doing the hashtags on it isn't getting it noticed, isn't getting, and when you search for that, we're not popping up.
So Johnny said, I like excursion is back because these new trims are really bringing them back to our attention.
Yeah. Although, that, and I haven't looked closely at that. We know that's a trim. So the excursion, I didn't share it in here. Excursion package is what it's called, on the limited trim. It's going to be available, and it's going to give you like advanced cargo management system, heavy duty trailer tow package, the the roof rack rails, the advanced cargo management in the back. Some of these things basically are into this package for the limited, but they didn't mention that it was going to be on other trim levels as well. So my question is, are they not just making that name available in the other trims, or are they just included it in those trims? I haven't looked at the order guide enough to look at that. So.
Okay. Having a catchy title is good, but when the information is inside is untrue and hurtful to the automotive economy, then I've got a huge problem with it. One individual tries to shoot down a brand to make money.
Yeah. And then Marine Vet said, putting in the queue for 24. I was thinking they had one in for 24.
He might.
Oh, if his 23 doesn't make the build cut.
He has a 23.
Add Lux and high package and getting okay. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
see. We should have several months yet for scheduling for Bronco. So since it's going to be starting November, so it'll actually go a month later. So we still have a couple more months of scheduling. So
All right.
we'll see how that
2.7 EcoBoost difficult to get in the new F-150? Question mark.
No.
Okay. What exactly does your $499 dock fee cover?
All the legal fees and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Legal fees. It also covers your temporary tag.
A lot of
all of that. Because here we don't tag your vehicle for you. You have to go to your tag office. And you're also going to be paying your own state's taxes or your own area's taxes instead of ours. And so, we give you a temporary tag and then you go tag it, register it, pay taxes in your own area.
Yeah. So, yep. Anyway.
All right. If the hitch is no longer a problem, I'd like to add it. Francis, shoot me an email and we'll go over that.
Yeah.
Or give me a call. I got
I will say this: it's still over constrained. It's still more orders on there than what they can produce. So it may not be on the scheduling weekly notes, but it doesn't mean it's not a constraint on the capacity commodity report. So I would still encourage you to leave it off, but with us, it may not matter anyway. So,
all right.
Ragnacon says I should make an anti-Lux package video for the Bronco so I can get everyone angry at me.
Sorry.
There you go. All right, what else?
That's all I've seen.
All right. Anybody else just chatting at this point? All right. Okay. Yeah, Jay says we're on late tonight. So, all right. Yep. All right.
Let's close it off.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for being on here tonight and for joining us. And hopefully it was informative. That's what we're here for.
Rev Nation says, title of my next video, Ford announces 16,000 Maverick all-wheel drive full self-driving.
Yeah. All-wheel drive is available for 2024 Maverick.
That's all you need to put on there.
Yep. Hey, maybe this video now will actually trend since I said it in the video. Maybe. What do you think? If we say it enough times in the video, like, all-wheel drive Maverick and Maverick all-wheel drive, and
you don't even need to say EcoBoost or hybrid, all-wheel drive Maverick.
All right. Anyway,
that's not clickbait. That's true. There is an all-wheel drive Maverick.
All-wheel drive Maverick hybrid. Anyway, all right. Well, anyway, I think that's about it.
Plug-in hybrid.
Yep, it's getting late. So, all right. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us tonight, and appreciate it. Yeah, smash that like button on the way out. Appreciate it. Again, thank you guys very much. Don't forget to stay positive. Let's be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourselves.
We'll see you later.